Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. We're going to be doing outreach yet again over Discord. The weather is very hot again. It's 31 degrees today. It gets to 31. I really wanted to go on the street. I thought, hey, maybe if it gets all the way to 28, it's not that bad. But it's 31 degrees. Jesus Christ. I'm still a bit tired, of course, because I gotta go to bed late when it's not so cool outside. I do have air conditioning in my house, but I rarely turn it on. I don't like to turn it on. I feel kind of bad that other people, don't have AC and I do. So I only turn it on if I absolutely need to. One of those things. Anyway, so yeah, it's a good day. Let's see who's here. Thank you everybody for being here. Um, I can't. Hello, Mrs. Winthrop of Surrey. Hello. Dracolumb is here. Not for. Hey, not first. Not first. Tone. Furd. Martin is here, but I can't find Martin. Oh, yeah, there you go. Somewhere down the line. Martin. Nice. VPM is here. Hello, VPM. I hope you'll join also the channel, VPM, on Discord, maybe, because you're always good with debunking stuff, and I feel like you're always a good activist also. Martin's napping before we even started. Okay. Putin's buddy says, Privet. 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 Yeah. And Vegan for Them says, hello. Hello. Yeah, let's see how it will go today. I don't have nearly as much energy as yesterday. Hello, George. Mainly because, again, of the heat. It's gotten to me a little bit. But I did have a really good lunch with, I think if I count, 12 types of vegetables and fruit. 12. 12. I'm gonna live forever, god damn it. Anyway, without further ado, let's go into the Discord and yeah, let's see what conversations we're going. To the moderators today, try not to get too triggered. Don't silence people out for unless they're absolutely needed. Hello, DLTN, nice to see you. And don't when I say try not to get triggered, I don't mean like it's not your fault. Like just try not to. They're gonna suck you in. They're gonna say stupid things. People are gonna say stupid things in the chat. So try with one person or two, and if it doesn't work, move on to the next. Or if you want, you can try to trigger one person or two. That's what I do sometimes. It makes it all a little bit better when you try to trigger them. Let's see. I'll put on Discord. Hello. Vegan equals animal rights, and now let's join this.
pH of the tobacco so that it absorbs differently. I'll stop talking about that, but
Yeah,
it happens. I think they do that with animal products too. They'll like introduce carbon monoxide to them so that they stay red for longer.
oh dear God.
It like binds to the same heme that oxygen would, and so it colors the meat redder for longer, I think.
The first thing I said in this channel before I even really said hello is how much I hate the not the slaughterhouses, which that's a given, but the places where they keep them in prison, in worse than prison-like conditions, in concentration camps, pretty much, you know.
Yeah.
Like the
Oh
farming.
God. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, as a farmer, that's the thing that I hate even more. Like, oh my God.
Wait, you're a farmer?
Because,
Like, what kind of farmer are you?
uh, uh, okay, when I say I'm a farmer, I mean like literally, I have farmland. I just grow stuff on there. I have a lot of land, so I tend to grow a lot of vegetables, fruits. I'm even trying, or at least I'm going to next year, if things keep up like this, I'm going to try growing watermelons. Growing watermelons in Britain.
Is that I don't know? Is that like I think watermelons need a lot of sun to become sweet, right?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's I'm going to try next year and see what happens.
That's gonna be interesting.
So you're going to be out with UV lights.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if I need to. That's the thing. I'm gonna try and see what happens because
Do you there is one way to grow watermelon without giving them a whole lot of sun. They do this with the Green River in Utah. They're called Green River watermelons, and they're like really dark green, like they don't have the stripes.
I know the ones you're talking about. Yeah, it's
But how you do it is you have to have a constant water supply, like a river.
oh yeah, yep.
Or
No. I'm talking about proper watermelon, son. I'm talking about proper juicy, pink in the middle, all
oh, that's
the
what Green River watermelons are, dude. They're some of the juiciest, fucking most flavorful watermelons.
really.
They just have a constant supply of water.
Okay, I'm converted.
Yeah, as long as you have a constant supply of water, they'll grow wonderfully.
I'm still a bit
Actually,
baffled
like,
by the idea that you
what's
call
that?
the watermelon pink inside. Are they not red? Is not red the best color? Why did you call them pink?
Actually, why did I say pink? I'm not really sure. Yeah, red.
Ah, okay.
I don't know.
I
My
thought
head.
maybe there's some special watermelons or something.
Yeah,
Well,
no.
there's ones that
That's
are
just
like
for the
lighter,
Aren't
and then there's some
snowballs
that are yellow.
in the middle?
Yes.
Snowball watermelons are pink.
By the way, I'm gonna create an event, everybody. So,
Sounds good.
By the way,
I've always wanted to try the yellow water with the yellow flesh inside.
Bedpack, you said you are having tobacco. Did you know that some tobaccos are not vegan?
Yes, I did. That's why I
Okay.
have my own. I don't have my own, but yeah, I roll my own, and I have.
Isn't it the filters on standard cigarettes that's the problem?
Yeah.
Some of the filters, to be honest with you, and this is again what's made me going vegan so easy because some of the filters, especially the ones that are supposed to be really high quality, are absolute trash. They're just expensive, and they use animal products for no reason. It actually makes it worse. But hey,
Oh, I think I remember speaking to you about this before because I said, well, why don't you vape?
not me.
Okay.
Honestly, I would actually say vaping is worse than smoking. I would honestly say that.
depends on what
Okay.
you're vaping.
It really doesn't. That's the problem.
It does.
Vaping
It
itself.
does. If
Okay,
you're
go
if
for
you're if you're vaping tobacco directly, like there's dry herb vaporizers. If you're doing that, it cannot be less healthy than smoking. Vaping is unhealthy when you use the liquids because the liquids, you know,
Exactly.
they have some chemicals in them that are not particularly
Mhm.
healthy if you ingest them, especially when they get heated up. Yeah.
Exactly. They cause what's becoming a popular term now, popcorn lung. They literally like
Popcorn lung.
shred your lungs rather than polluting it and causing it to die out. They'll literally shred your lungs.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's terrible, terrible stuff.
Don't make me start smoking cigarettes again.
At least with smoking, you know, your lungs over time, like slowly and slowly and slowly, they can repair themselves. But when your lungs are shredded, I mean, at that point, there's no repair.
Yeah, I vape.
Oh,
Just
you do.
get those what's it called? Those bubble gums with nicotine. That's probably better.
Oh, they're
Yeah, with the
disgusting. Have you
patch.
ever tried them, Labra?
Or the patch, yeah.
I used vaping for like a few weeks or whatever it was, but without any nicotine to help me stop smoking, and it worked really well. And eventually I just didn't need anything.
My mom's dad always ripped off the filter to, like, he would buy the filter cigarettes, but he always ripped off the filter. And
The best type of smoking for you is barbecue. I can't beat a good old bar.
Okay, I see there's comments in here. Until the room gets a little bit fuller, let's read some of these ridiculous comments and let me respond to them. The smell of bacon in the morning. Yeah, the smell of sizzling flesh. That's what you want, flesh, somebody's flesh. Well, funny coincidence. If you cut off your finger and put it in a pan, it will smell exactly the same. This is your pro tip today. So might as well cut off your finger. Why kill other beings for something you don't need, it's just something you like? Why not cut off your own fingers if you really like it that much, right? Don't force narrative on anyone. Let people live their lives according to their own choice. So should we let people kill other humans because it's their choice to do so? Should we let people like violate human rights because it's their choice to do so? I don't think so. There you go. Leave animals alone and let them live. That's as simple as that. Thank you, Russian plant. Russian plant, Otvo. Burnt my finger 2 days ago. Smelled like burnt hair. Yeah, that's what it does, right? It's the hair first because you still have some hair follicles. But you gotta go through that, not just the hair. So that's what they do also with the pigs, right? They burn off the hairs that they have on their bodies, and then you eat what it is. So. And when I say burned, I don't necessarily mean the skin, right? Because bacon is just like a strip of it, right? So if you cut your finger off, if you cut it in like this, like transversely, right? Not along the finger, but transversely. If you cut those, I'm pretty sure those will taste and look and smell exactly like bacon. So do that. Or a foot. You don't have to cut the fingers. Fingers are very important to us, right? And they're very difficult to reattach. So how about you just cut a foot or something? They're not that useful. If you're just sitting on a chair right now, might as well cut your foot off. And, cook it. You might use it for a long time. Instead of exploiting and slaughtering sentient beings for something you don't need, huh? Fish is good. Yeah, fish deserve to live. That's true. They are good, and thus they deserve to live. We should not be asphyxiating them to death. And you're right, King Tuck. We should not. Fish deserve to live because they are good. You're right. I don't want to win an argument. I want to win at life. Eating meat is the most cost efficient and that's it, I guess. So you want to win at life, and you say if it's more cost efficient to harm somebody, then you will do that. I get it. I get you. You don't really care about anybody but yourself and yourself winning at life, right? You don't really care if in the process you create literal corpses of sentient beings. Why vegan equals animal rights? I thought not hurting someone, rape or kill is bare minimum, no? Yeah, I mean, being vegan means respecting the rights of animals. So that's what it is. Not hurting someone is bare minimum, sure. Being vegan would mean not hurting animals, right? It would mean not exploiting them, not forcing them into slaughterhouses. I eat bugs, but I process them first. I feed them to the chickens and then eat the eggs and the chicken meat. Okay, so you, on top of the sentient beings that you kill to feed your chickens, you also kill the chickens as the sentient beings that they are. You essentially don't give a shit about anyone but yourself. I got you. Just tell us your, yeah, I'm not gonna say that word. Shut the F up to one cares. No one cares. It seems like you cared enough to comment, didn't you? And to come in here and comment. And yeah, you know, being queer is actually pretty nice. Why not? What's wrong with being queer? We respect people's sexual orientation here. People should be allowed to be queer as long as there's consent. There is absolutely no issue with it. So, you know, maybe don't shame people for something that you yourself might find, or maybe you yourself are too afraid to even explore yourself, right? What are rights? We're talking about moral rights when I say it here. When I talk about animal rights, I don't necessarily mean legal rights. We're well aware that animals do not have legal rights, so we're talking about more than anything moral rights. Well, if you don't kill the animal for food, would be eaten before the harvest ends, so how are you going to eat then? Makes no sense what you're saying. If we don't bring animals into existence for the sole purpose of exploiting and slaughtering them, then we can eat plants. We don't need to exploit and slaughter animals. I highly doubt humans smell like bacon. I'm sure these burn victims smell quite bad. No, Muffin Man, if you cut a strip of somebody's flesh exactly like you do with bacon, right, like transversally, it will smell exactly like bacon. We're all made of the same thing. I know we like to believe that we humans are so much different, but we're the same. We're all the same, really. The only thing that we have is a little bit of higher intellect. But looking at the comment section, I would say even that is a stretch for a lot of people. Cheapest foods in the store is subsidized. It's subsidized crap that is killing us. You're right. You're right. Sorry for reading it that way. Jackie Boyle, thank you so much for the donation. Thank you. I appreciate you. W for Jackie Boyle. Oh, yeah, some people are really triggered, I see. Humans are made of flesh. Exactly. Thank you for that. A vegan clown activist. No, I'm an animal rights activist. I fight for people for the rights of animals. If you consider me a clown, I don't see any makeup, and everything that I say is factually true. So if you have a problem with facts, I guess you should, you know, go to church or something. That's where they appreciate the lack of facts, and they appreciate only feelings and such. Why is killing one large animal for food worse than killing thousands of small animals in crop harvesting? Well, they're not. Both of them are pretty bad. It's just that keep in mind that when you kill one large animal for food, that large animal was fed a lot of crops themselves. So any of these thousands of small animals that grind crop harvesting, actually between 2 and 4 times more animals die in the production of the crops that we feed the animals, on top of the killing and the exploitation that animal has to go through. So no, it's not the same. One is obviously better than the other. A lot of triggered people. What are rights? If I have to teach you what rights are, that's okay. It's you might need to learn. If you think that's a gotcha, that's not a very smart gotcha. As I said, we're talking about moral rights, not legal rights. Why don't you use special shows not to walk on bugs? Why don't I use special shoes, I guess you meant, not shows, not to walk on bugs? Because we're not talking about accidental killing, we're not talking about incidental killing, we're talking about intentional killing, right? We're talking about bringing to life sentient beings for the sole purpose of exploiting and killing them. That's what we are opposing, the exploitation of sentient beings. My breakfast bacon this morning was amazing. I'm sure it tasted good. I'm not denying that bacon doesn't taste good. The only difference is that when you're buying bacon, you're essentially paying for sentient beings to be forced into slaughterhouses, to be gassed to death, and then, you know, have their throats cut and chopped into pieces. Imagine if we did that to your dog, because pigs are just as intelligent as dogs. If we did that to dogs, 90% of people would be horrified over here, right? I mean, most people actually... If we, the animal rights activists that we fight for the rights of, you know, farm animals, in reality, we as vegans do a lot of fighting for the rights of farm animals, because when it comes to cats and dogs, most people agree that they should have rights. Yet, for farm animals, somehow they don't, they disagree. And why is that? Maybe it's because you benefit from it. Because if you imagine a situation where you can't benefit from exploiting farm animals, I would assume you wouldn't be okay with their exploitation or slaughter, because you would see them exactly as they are, the individuals that they are. But let's go back to Discord, and maybe some conversations will start. I made an event just now, And let's see, if you want to have a conversation with me, there's a link in there. Keep in mind that it takes like 5 minutes. You gotta go into Discord, into that server. It takes, I think, like 5 minutes, and then you can join.
Hello, Styling.
Hello.
Your mic's pretty
How's
loud.
it going?
Flipping.
Nigga.
Oh, you're one of those. I see. Thank you for contributing.
I didn't quite catch their name. No, thank you.
I got it.
Nice.
I'll figure it out. Phantom.
Yeah, that was pretty surprising.
Didn't even take a second.
Nah.
Welcome back, Chip.
Hey, how's it going, Chip?
Oh, here we go.
Chip, you're muted on your stream. I can see you talking, but nothing's coming out.
Thank you for that. Thank you. I was muted. Yeah. I always get confused where I'm muted where, so I'll only use the microphone from now on to mute myself. Okay.
All good. It's a common mistake, so.
Amateur hour over here.
But yeah, is there like a certain time where we can voice our points on certain things, or on the whole thing?
So, Mr. Tidy, are you vegan?
No.
What do you think being vegan is? And then we can ask you why you are not vegan, okay?
Well, veganism is just basically the bare bones stuff, trying to, find a certain way of going about, I guess, trying to preserve the whole certain animal thing, but it's kind of just it's up in the air. It's opinionated. In other words.
So it's a moral principle of rejecting animal exploitation.
Well, that depends on what we're talking about exploiting. You know what I'm saying? Like
so exploitation means unfair usage.
If we're cruel, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we're not being unfair to the animals because of the fact that it's population control.
Okay, so wait.
In other words,
before we get there.
Sorry.
So the definition of veganism is a rejection of animal exploitation. Do you have a problem with rejecting animal exploitation?
No, I mean it's I had, what's it called? I don't like exploitation in any form, but in the sense of like we all have to be able to understand where our sustenance comes from.
So do you agree that we should reject? Do you agree that we should reject animal exploitation?
Yeah, it's cruel and inhumane on whenever it comes to certain levels and stuff. But like I said, any exploitation is bad.
Okay, what do you think meaning exploitation means to you? So
being able to.
So we both agree that that animal exploitation is bad. So now let's dive in. What is animal exploitation to you?
Yeah, it's basically just being able to go above and beyond when it comes to like being able to take that animal and really use it like above and beyond what it's supposed to be used for. You know what I'm saying? That there's certain animals that are out here that are put on this earth to sustain us, like nutrition wise.
So wait a minute.
Also
if I farm
other things.
So if I farm animals, would that be exploitation?
No, because it's like I said, it's population control. Exploitation is being able to.
I don't know what you mean by population control, but if I farm humans, is that exploitation?
No, because then it's just basically, it's like that you wouldn't basically be able to, like that would just be hunting.
So if I farm humans, I'll ask again. If I farm humans, and by farm I can describe what farming means. It means I bring to life humans, and when I say I bring to life, it means I control the reproductive process of every single human being on my farm. I bring humans to life. I use them for what I want to use them, and then I kill them. And maybe I use them for sustenance. Maybe I use them in other ways, but I definitely use their whole bodies. So is it exploitation if I do that to humans?
Well, I mean, technically it would just be murder because it's human life,
So
and it's
is
basically
it
just a whole different
exploitation
thing.
if I farm humans the way I described it?
Well, no, because you're not taking advantage of, like, you're not take if you're like, let's say if we're doing that for a certain purpose, like let's say if there was a deficit, and like it has to be for a certain purpose for it to be inhumane, for it to not be inhumane.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So are you saying that let's imagine the world, because wow, like okay, let's go a little bit further with this. So let's imagine a world where the natality is going down, and we foresee that population, like people are getting older, they're dying off, natality is going down, and we foresee that the human population is at a peril. Okay, and we say, if in this situation, would you be in favor of forcing people to have babies for the sake of the human population?
Well, it wouldn't be forcing. You would give them a choice, and whether or not they would choose to
That's not what I
let the
asked.
population dwindle.
I asked you, would you be in favor of forcing the human population to reproduce?
Well, I mean, technically yes, because that's what's supposed to happen.
So
we're
you would
not.
be
It's
in
not really
favor
forcing
of
it.
taking the body autonomy of humans because you think it's better for humanity if they do this one thing that you think it's better, correct?
Well, yeah, because it's not cruel, because of the fact that it's restarting a whole entire
Taking
civilization.
away somebody's body autonomy is inherently cruel. I'm surprised that you don't really understand that.
I mean, well, it's giving them a choice. Like I said,
No, it's not.
there
There's
has to
no
be a choice.
choice. Well, I ask you pretty simple. Do you think me forcing somebody, me controlling their breeding process, right? Me saying, you need to have babies now, you need to not have babies now. Me telling everybody how they should be, and not, when I say telling, I don't mean using my words. I mean using force if necessary. Do you think that is exploitation or not?
Well, if it like you said, if there was a situation where that would be needed, then no, because then it's
Who
just
would
restarting
decide
the
if it's
population.
needed? Who would decide if it's needed or not?
The leaders of the world. Like
Okay.
if there was a
Mr.
congregation
Tidy,
of
Mr.
people.
Tidy, I'm sorry, but you seem to have a lot of values that are in line with oppression, because that is inherently oppressive, what you're saying, because essentially what you're saying is we can violate somebody's body autonomy if the leaders decide so, because they say it's good enough. No, we should not violate anybody's body autonomy, whether they're human or not. That's the whole point that we're sitting here. And we usually try to start from the premise that most human beings on this planet agree that the other human beings should have body autonomy. You seem to not agree with this fact. You seem to think that violating body autonomy is okay if the people in power say that it is needed, correct?
I never said it was okay. I'm just saying if it has to happen, then it should happen, and better.
So when you say it should happen, does that not imply that you're saying it is okay? If I say something should happen, is that not my recommendation for a thing to happen, thus concluding that I think it's okay?
Because we're talking about a situation where if the human race is to go extinct.
So Mr. Tidy, you seem to be like one of those people. I'll ask you yet again, and I'm not interested in this conversation if you're not going to answer. So, is it moral, just to be clear, is it moral to violate somebody's body autonomy because you have power over them and you think and you seem to think it's necessary?
It's not morally right, because the fact that I guess we're trying to force somebody onto something, but if I'm like you said that it was in a state of where somebody like you said, if the human race was going extinct, then Would
Yeah,
you?
if the human race is
Would it
going
be?
extinct, do you think we should be forcing people to reproduce? Do you think we should violate people's body autonomy if the human race is going extinct?
I mean, there shouldn't really be like a loss of human life if like I said,
So
like
should
if
we
we
be
built this whole
violating the
entire
body
civilization.
autonomy? Should we be violating the body autonomy of humans? I'm
No,
done with talking
no, we
about it.
shouldn't.
Okay, so we agree, both
Bruh.
agree that it's wrong to violate the body autonomy of humans. But you seem to think it's okay to violate the body autonomy of animals, correct?
No, I never said that. This is a
Okay,
whole different
so
thing
it's
of
wrong.
of sustenance versus humans.
Okay,
Because
so
we're
it's
not
wrong to
sustenance.
violate the body autonomy of animals also.
What do you mean?
Is it
Because
wrong?
the
I'm
the
asking
animal.
you, is it morally right or morally wrong to violate the body autonomy of animals?
No, because they're not as sentient as us.
So, when I asked you just now, like, why is it that every single question I ask you, if I repeat the question, you answer something differently? It feels like I'm talking to somebody who just gives random answers to the question. So I'll ask you yet again, is it moral to
No,
violate the body autonomy of humans?
well, no, because they're humans.
Okay, let's move on. Is it moral to violate the body autonomy of animals?
It's it's a it's a thing of sustenance. That's the loaded
That's not
question.
what I asked you, Dan. I didn't ask you for what reason. I asked you, is it right or is it wrong to violate the body autonomy of an animal?
It's wrong if you're doing it for not a sustenance purpose.
Okay, so it's
That's
wrong.
the
Okay,
whole
so
thing.
it's wrong.
If it's
So
just if it's random and then it's just like
what is
you're
sustenance?
just trying to
What is sustenance in this
food
context?
like are the nutrients of the nutrients that we
For
get
nutrition.
from the animals that we use to be able to live and sustain, have the animal proteins and all
Is
that
it
stuff,
okay?
and
Is
be
it
able to use.
wrong? Is it wrong to violate the body autonomy of a human for nutrition?
Yes, because it's a human. It's cannibalism.
Okay, so cannibalism is wrong. I'm sorry. You naming it cannibalism doesn't mean anything to me, right? It's wrong because it's cannibalism doesn't mean anything. It's like saying it's right because it's in the Bible. It also doesn't mean anything. So if you say that it is wrong because that violating the body autonomy of humans is wrong for food, but violating body autonomy is right for animals for food, what is the difference between humans and animals in that context that justifies the difference in view?
Because it's not a human. They're not human.
That is not a difference,
It's
right?
not.
Like let me explain to you. If I ask you what the difference between an iPad and an iPhone is, you can't say one is an iPad, one is an iPhone. That wouldn't be a difference. That would just be you naming the items. So when I ask you what the difference between a human being and an animal is that justifies the difference in treatment, I expect you to come up with a phenotype, a trait, or something along those lines that would actually justify the difference in treatment.
There's less sentience. Yeah, that's what I said before. The sentience is not as prevalent because there is high enough brain function to know for them to know what's going on.
Is that it? Just less sentience and not enough brain function, right?
I mean, I could go on, but I don't want to,
Okay,
draw this
so
out.
if we find a human being that has the amount of sentience and brain function that other animals have, would it be okay to violate their body autonomy for food?
It wouldn't change the fact that they're still a human.
Okay, so there you go. So that isn't the difference. Okay, so I'll ask you yet again. What is the morally significant difference between a human being and an animal that justifies the difference in treatment?
Because we use the animals for sustenance. Like
That's
we use
no. That's not a difference. I'm asking you, what is the morally significant difference between an individual human and an individual animal that justifies the difference in treatment? I'm not asking you how you use animals. I'm not asking you how you use humans. I'm asking you in front of you, there's an individual human, there's an individual animal. Imagine yourself as not an amoral being necessarily, but a being who has not yet developed the morality that you have developed, okay? And in this situation, you are thinking you can either choose a plant-based dish, well, which is already out the window, or you can kill a human or an animal, right? And you seem to think that a plant-based dish is not worthy, right? So you want to kill either a human and an animal. So how do you decide which one to kill? what is that difference that justifies the difference in treatment? Like, because you seem to say that an animal is okay to kill, an animal is okay to do whatever you want to them, but a human not. So what is that difference that makes it so? Like, what judgment do you form in your head to say, I want to kill the animal but not the human?
Because we're not animals. Like
we are
already
animals,
know,
yes. Humans are animals.
We're Homo sapiens, not animals.
Yeah, we are animals. We're
technically-
mammals. Homo sapiens is the
Yeah.
species that we're in. We're a species of mammals. We're a species of mammal, a species of primates. We are definitely animals, yes.
Am I allowed
Yeah,
to
but I'm
answer
not-
the question as a vegetarian?
Just give it 1 second, please. So, Mr. Tidy, go on.
Yeah, but basically, we're not on the same level of like the whole sentience thing. We're not on the same level as an animal because of the fact that
What
we
is
can,
sentience? Okay, let's also
can-
go in through this because you seem to be making claims that are unsubstantiated. So, what is sentience?
being able to know what you're doing and being able to act
Okay,
on whether or
so
not
being
you should
aware.
be doing that thing or what you shouldn't. Yeah, self-aware.
Self-awareness. Okay. So, what defines self-awareness? Is it just strictly like if I see more, if I smell more, if I hear more, am I more aware of my surroundings? Am I more self-aware?
Technically, it goes into more in depth than that because of the fact that we're not actually creating these farms just to slaughter. We're creating the farms.
I'm not asking you
that way
about
we
slaughter.
can-
Listen, man, you keep bringing it back to what you want to talk about. And I keep wanting to see the difference in how you see animals. And you keep bringing it back to the fact that you see animals as food. I get it. You see animals as food. But can you, at least for a second, detach yourself from this view that was bestowed upon to you by somebody because you didn't get to this view alone. Somebody told you that it's okay to eat animals. Somebody told you that you should eat animals. Be it your parents, be it your grandparents. I don't know who raised you, who brought you into the situation of you consuming animals.
It's a balance.
But at the end of the day, it's not a balanced meal. It can be a balanced meal while eating humans also, and it can be a balanced meal while eating only plants. Yet you seem to think that, morally speaking, killing animals for optional food is okay. Killing humans for optional food is not okay. So I need to understand what the difference between a human being and an animal is that justifies the difference in view. It's pretty simple. If you're going to be discriminating based on how somebody's born, also known as their species, because you say if you're born a human, you deserve to live. If you're born an animal, it's okay for me to violate your body autonomy. So if you're going to discriminate based on that, I need to understand why you're discriminating based on that.
Because it's from a logical standpoint of where the food pyramid. Like
you calling it a logical standpoint
means
nothing, and the food pyramid is nothing that somebody invented. As the food pyramid is literally just an invention to tell you which of some more of something you should eat and which less of something you should not eat. It essentially boils down to how a healthy, nutritious diet should be part of. A food pyramid does not tell you that you need to exploit and slaughter animals.
But we're not exploiting.
You don't see a tiger eat a tiger, though, do you?
I don't know what you just said, Snickers, but Mr. Tidy, can you please?
I'm sorry.
Can you say what you're saying?
Basically, our canines were developed for tearing and being able to rip apart that kind of protein.
Is it possible that canines were developed? Is it possible that canines were developed strictly for, like other primates? Since we're primates ourselves, why don't we look at other primates and assume that our canines are developed like it was for other primates? For security, not necessarily for biting into something. Because if we're going by our canines, wait a minute, if we're going by our canines being made for meat, why is it that our jaw is made for eating plants? Because our jaw moves left and right, not just up and down as a meat eater's would. So why is it that our jaw moves left and right? If our canines, after all, develop to eat meat, shouldn't our whole teeth and our whole mouth develop to eat meat?
No, because they're the Homo sapiens that we were derived from were omnivores. They weren't just
Okay,
they
you're
were
not
just
getting it.
herbivores.
That's okay. That's okay. You're not getting it. So I honestly don't care. I just wanted to go into that point a little bit. But you still haven't answered my question, and I'll ask you one last time, and then I'm no longer interested. So what is the morally significant difference between a human being and an animal that justifies killing one but not the other for an optional food? So in other words, say you can get the same nutrition from killing humans, you can get the same nutrition from killing animals, and you can get the same nutrition from killing plants. Why would you choose to kill animals and not humans or, plants only?
Because you
It's
shouldn't
like a
kill a
question
human.
like
It's
tigers don't eat tigers and lions don't eat lions. It's just
Let him
human
talk.
nature.
Let him
It's
talk.
just
Let him
natural.
talk.
yeah,
Okay,
they
talk.
they ba- we're basically designed to be able to eat anything. You know what I'm saying? Our
Yeah,
bodies
including humans.
our gut microbe. Well, no, but we shouldn't eat humans though. That's
Why
the whole
not?
thing. It's cannibalism.
So what?
Mad cow
Like
disease.
the Homo sapiens did that and cannibalized each other and just basically attacked each other.
But that's
Because
not
they
what
were
I
savages.
listen,
They
Mr.
didn't know.
Toddy, Mr. Tidy. I keep
Yeah.
trying
We
to
have
explain to
we
you.
have that in history.
There
Snickers,
is
We have
no-
actually
Snickers, please
cannibalized.
wait for a second.
The more
I
the
keep
moral high
asking
ground
you
came.
over and over and over and over again. I don't care what happens. I know what happens. I'm aware of it. I read the news. I go outside. I interact with people. I know what people are up to. Hell, I'm talking to you. I know you exploit and slaughter animals. I know you believe that that's what you were born to do or whatever. Or these animals, that's what they were meant to do, whatever. I don't care about these qualifiers. I care about the morality of it. So I ask you yet again. You seem to think it's moral to exploit and slaughter animals, but it is immoral to exploit and slaughter humans for the same amount of nutrition. So what makes that difference between an individual human and an individual animal? Well, both are animals actually, but one is non-human and one is human. So what is that difference between them that justifies the difference in treatment?
There is no difference. We've been able to ascertain which beings we've been able to, because they're gonna get rampant if we just let them
So there's no difference.
do their
There's no difference. There you go. There's no difference. So why is
there
it?
is no difference.
So
but
then that's a logical contradiction, because if there is no difference, yet you treat them differently, why does that happen? If there is no difference, as you say.
because we need to control their populations, or else they're going to run rampant.
So we're gonna.
That's the whole reason why
Mr.
farms-
Tidy, do you know how farming exists? Because when we talk about farms, we bring these animals into existence. They're not them breeding themselves and we control it. We bring them into existence. Like literally, for example, reproduction of cows, 90% of the time implies somebody jerking off a bull, taking that sperm, then putting their hands in the anus of a cow to hold their cervix and injecting that sperm in their vagina. That's literally how the procedure goes.
That's a controlled procedure. But
that's a controlled procedure. Wait, no, Mr. Tidy. It's a controlled procedure of bringing more animals into existence, not controlled to keep them into containing, like you said. Because Mr. Tidy, you implied that we farm animals to keep them under control, or otherwise they would run rampant. That's what you just said. But now I gave you an example that all this procedure happens. You know how it happens. All this procedure happens to bring more animals into existence. So how exactly is a procedure that brings more animals into existence supposed to keep less animals into existence, or supposed to keep them from breeding even more?
Because of hunting. Like if we don't hunt, then they're just like I said.
We were talking about farming. Now you move on to hunting. I'm no longer interested in having a conversation with you. If somebody else wants to try, please. But I'm no longer interested in having a conversation with you.
Guys, vegetarian.
I'm just guys. Wait a minute, guys. I'm just eating a chicken.
So any of the vegan people want to try and have a conversation with Mr. Tidy?
Please don't eat that pork chicken.
I got a question. I got a question.
Stop eating that chicken.
One at a time, please.
It's pork chicken. Don't eat it.
I actually do have a question. It does regard chickens. Yeah, I've actually got a bit of land. I got horses. I got chickens, and I got free-range chickens. Why is it so bad that I eat eggs from my chickens?
Where do the eggs come from?
My chickens.
Where do the chickens come from?
Brought them from the market.
No, other chickens.
So those chickens come from the market that you said. You bought them, right?
Yeah, when they were chicks.
Yeah,
Like
what happened
little
to the
chicks,
male
like,
chicks?
yellow chicks.
Yeah, what happened to the male chicks? Since you bought only females, I
Not
would
sure.
assume. Well, if you look in the chat, you're shown a video of what happens to them.
You're talking about roosters?
I'm talking about the eggs, about the male chicks that don't produce eggs.
No,
Yeah, they're beheaded and then processed.
They're not called
Oh, like
roosters
you call
unless they actually grow up. They are male chicks that are literally blended up alive on their first day of life. That's the 70% of the cases, that's what happens. 25% of the cases, they asphyxiate them to death. And in other situations, they put them in a bag and then asphyxiate them to death. So, yeah, this is what happens most of the time.
That cheap guy, I have a question.
I didn't do that.
But Zev, can you
I just
please
got some
wait?
chickens.
We're talking to Snickers right now. So
I've got like 6 chickens. They're free range. They go out. They eat their chicken feed. They explore the land. Then when sun goes down, they go back in the barn. They go to sleep. Lay the eggs. It's a good source of protein.
And those are the only animal products that you buy.
For those chicks.
And those are the only animal products that you buy, right?
I also buy cheese. Love cheese.
Oh, you buy cheese also. Okay, so this whole straw man of you having some chickens doesn't mean anything really, because you pay for cows to get raped so that you can have cheese.
They don't get raped, so I actually know dairy farmers, and I see how they're treated. They're fine.
Do they get artificially inseminated?
They have to.
Do they get artificially inseminated?
What do you mean artificially inseminated? Like
do cows
by taking sperm and then sticking
let me
it
put
inside.
it this way. Do you think a cow decides when they want to get pregnant, or do you think a farmer decides for them?
Probably a farmer, yeah.
Okay, so if the farmer decides for them, how do you think they do it?
I don't think like a bull getting jacked off is like torture, to be honest.
Okay, so it is a bull getting jerked off and then using... Okay, so let's put it this way. If we did that in the context of humans, where we would jerk off against their consent a male, and then use that sperm and inseminated a female human against their consent, would you call that grape?
Would I call it grape?
Yeah.
Grape's a fruit.
You know what I mean. Remove
He's just trying to censor it. That's all.
Oh, I try to use extreme words. Okay.
So if we did that to a human being, would it be called grape or not?
Yeah, because that's our word.
Freedom.
So would it be? I'm sorry. It's just people keep talking over you, and I don't understand. Is it grape or not?
No.
No, it's not. So if we forcefully inseminated a female human, you wouldn't call it grape?
Hell no.
Forcefully? Oh well,
Yeah.
with humans, like we're sentient beings. Animals are animals.
Animals are sentient beings also. So I ask you again, because the question didn't even refer to animals. I asked you, in the case of humans, if we artificially inseminated them, whereas we forcefully inseminated them, because artificial inseminations means we do it for them. We don't let them inseminate themselves. It means we literally the reason why the way we inseminate a cow is we put our hands in their anus to hold their cervix, and then we inject bull semen in their vagina. Like, literally, how is that in any way consensual? If we have to do all that, it's pretty clear that it's not consensual. So if we do exactly the same thing...
It's pretty easy to answer. Like, a woman or a human can say no.
So if we did this... So if a human being cannot say no, would it be okay to do this to them?
As long as they can say no, then it's wrong.
What if they cannot say no?
Well, then obviously they're probably dead, aren't they?
So if a human being cannot say no, they're obviously not dead. There's mute people. There's people who cannot speak the same language as you do.
They can't use sign language or something like that, you know?
Yeah, there's mute people who cannot do sign language because there are mute people who are also intellectually challenged.
Like someone in a coma.
But that's not what I asked you, Snickers, right? Because I asked you a fairly simple question. Because you know what? Whether a person can say yes or no can also come back to, somebody slipping, like a drug in their drinks or anything. It doesn't necessarily mean. It doesn't necessarily imply. Sorry, I had to mute this person. So it doesn't necessarily imply that there exists such a person. I'm asking you hypothetically, if such a person exists that cannot express consent, like a child, for example, children cannot express informed consent, right? So if such a person exists, would you be in favor of artificially inseminating them?
I can't express consent, but that's why their parents are their guardians who.
God damn it! Why
express
can't
consent
you
with
answer
no
the
forum.
question, man? Why can't you answer the question? Why is it that I have to, like, if
Because
you're
you-
unclear
because
about the
because your
hypothetical,
analogy-
ask
no,
me
no,
more
'cause your-
questions
'cause
about
your
the
analogy-
hypothetical. But if you can't, if
I'll give
you're
you the
unsure
reason
about the
why.
hypothetical, ask me more
I'll
questions.
give you the
But I'm
reason why.
asking you a hypothetical.
I'll give you the reason why. Your analogy is far too extreme. Like,
Artificially
I've tried
inseminating a human
veganism.
being,
No,
I ask you.
I've tried veganism, and I tried to understand where you guys come from, but you actually steer me away from it. Like, I'll be.
Okay, so Snickers, I have muted you. I will repeat what I repeat to every single person on here. I hate muting people. I literally dislike it so much. I hate it. So please don't make me do that again. Please, I really want to have a civil conversation with you. And I understand you have certain emotions about veganism. I understand you want to say we're the reason why you keep exploiting and slaughtering innocent animals, like the cute dog that you have in your picture. Animals who feel and have the same range of emotions as that dog. But if you're going to keep doing this, I'm going to mute you. But you already left, so there you go.
Yeah.
I left, yeah.
So can I take from now on?
Apparently,
Hey,
Kebab wanted
can I
to
have a
talk.
question?
Well, be aware that he's okay with farming humans because we've spoken to him before.
Okay.
Like, do you have sympathy? Do you
can I
guys?
tag?
Okay, the vegan guy. Do you have sympathy towards Palestinians and what's happening?
Yes,
to them?
it is horrible what's happening in Palestine, and I hope it stops as soon as possible. I've been pro-Palestine even before the war started. I have a friend who's Palestinian, and he has told me a lot about it. So yeah, I'm pro-Palestine. Why?
No.
Okay, that's it. That was my question. Okay.
So, Chip guy, which one do you value more? Humans or non-human animals?
Humans. Why is that morally relevant?
Okay, tell me why. Tell me why do you value humans more?
But for the same reason why I value certain humans more than other humans. Well, actually, I wouldn't even say that I value all humans over all animals. If you ask me personally, I value certain humans over other I value certain humans over other humans. I value certain animals over, other humans and animals. But then
Sure.
it just goes the same for me. I would say all have the
That's
same
what
intrinsic
human-
value. But
what-
at the
what
end of the
human-
day, it
Indian.
doesn't really matter what I value, because I don't kill somebody because I don't value them, right? Like Zeph, you have zero value to me. I don't know who you are. Essentially, if you die tomorrow, I wouldn't be moved by it. And I'm sorry to say it. We're strangers. Just like if I would die tomorrow, you
Oh.
wouldn't be moved by it.
If you die
yeah,
tomorrow,
So,
I will.
so how is
I
that?
will- I will
How does
build
that
a
But
morally
like, if a
justify?
random dog would die tomorrow, would it move you? No. That's
No,
the
I'm
same.
not going to die. No, I'm sorry.
So Zeph, what I'm
No,
trying
if
to
you
say
died,
is,
No, bro.
if you died, I will have your funeral. I will go to your funeral.
sure, whatever. Like, I'm just trying to be honest here, okay? And I don't really care about you, right? You're a stranger to me, but that doesn't mean that I will violate your rights, okay? I respect your rights, and I will even fight for you to have those rights because of a sentient being that you are. How does any of this justify you drawing the line wherever you want and saying it's okay to kill these beings because you don't value them?
Can I
I didn't
talk?
say I'm not
Can I talk now,
valuing-
please?
Yeah,
Can I
talk,
ask
talk.
my
Okay, let's
follow-ups?
go back to the topic, bro. Let's go back to the topic. All right.
This
Vegans
question
better or
clearly
not?
matters. This question matters for the rest of the conversation. So in general, not specifically one person you love, in general, there were one human and one dog, and they were like going over a cliff. They were like falling from a cliff, and you could save only one. Which one would you save?
I don't know. It depends on the situation. It depends on the human. It depends on the animal.
Random
But none
human.
of that
I
really
already said
matters.
random.
None of that really
So random
matters.
human.
I'll
It
say you, a
matters.
random human.
Answer
There you
the
go. I'll say
question.
a human. How
Okay,
does that
okay,
morally
can you tell me the
justify?
reason why?
How does that
Can you tell me
morally?
the reason why?
No, I cannot. How
You
does that
value
morally
humans more?
justify? I just value humans more. I cannot tell you why. Maybe because I am human.
Yeah.
That's why I value humans more. But that does
Yeah.
not morally justify me crossing the line and saying the individuals that I value less I can exploit and kill, does it?
Okay, what is exploiting?
Exploiting means unfair usage.
Unfair usage.
So wait, how is it unfair for getting sustenance out of it?
No, Mr. Tidy, we've already tried to have a conversation with you. Maybe just listen, please, so that I don't have to mute you. Okay, go on.
You said we're exploiting animals, right? It's unfair usage.
It is unfair usage. Do you think? Wait, do you think it's fair to bring to life? Do you think it's fair to bring to life a sentient being, use them for whatever you need, and then kill them when you can no longer use them? Do you think that's fair?
Under some conditions, yes. Under some circumstances,
what
yes.
are those circumstances or conditions?
If you give them a life, then they would have in their wild life. I think that's fair usage.
So yet again, if I bring to life a sentient being, then I have the right to use them however I want. When I can no longer use them, I can kill them, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah, but
okay. So humans are sentient beings. Humans are sentient beings, correct?
Yeah.
So if I bring to life a human being, is it okay for me to enslave a human being and then kill them?
No, it's not, because we value humans more.
Well,
like
it doesn't matter why I value more.
We value them more.
But I didn't ask. Listen, man. I don't think you're tracking. So we gotta stop with this. Who you value more or less. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who I value less or more. Okay, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. Somebody who I value a lot, if they attack me, I might kill them to save my life if that's the case. It doesn't really matter, you know? It does not really matter, okay? What I'm trying to ask you is right now, you said it's okay. If you bring to life a sentient being, it's okay to exploit and kill them. Nobody said, well, you didn't say, well, if you value them, that it's not okay. What I'm asking you right now is if you say it's okay to exploit and kill a sentient being when you bring them to life, and humans are sentient beings, as we are, then it should be okay to bring to life a human being, use them, and then kill them when you can no longer use them, according to your own logic, according to what you just said, correct?
So we have different rules for humans. Like you said,
okay, so I'll ask you again. I don't want to mute you.
Exploitation this isn't an unfair.
So it's unfair. So it's unfair if we do it to. Is it fair or is it unfair if we do it to humans?
Hey, vegan power lab. You can't just use an analogy that will bring the winning.
Ollie, please don't interrupt. Chip's talking.
But like we said, like.
Okay, no. We gotta go through this, and yeah, we are going in a loop because you don't seem to understand the point. Okay, so I'll ask you just like I asked the other person: is it okay to farm humans?
It's not.
Okay, is it okay to farm animals? Is it okay to farm animals?
Yes. If you.
Okay, what is the morally significant difference between a human being and an animal that justifies the difference in view?
I don't know. Like you said.
So if you don't know, how can you? Animal? Well, listen, buddy. No. Let me be clear. In a situation where I have to save one or the other, in a situation where I would have to make a choice between saving one or the other, it's fair enough that you don't know which one to save. But in a situation where I have to kill one or the other, I would have to have a justification for it. Do you understand that, right?
Okay. Why is that?
Do you understand the difference? Did you understand? Please repeat what I just said.
You said, if it was a choice, it's either that or that. It's fair.
That's not what I said. Okay, so I will mute you. Okay, and I will repeat what I'm saying, and then I will unmute you. Yet again, I hate muting people, so please stop making me do that. And then I will ask you to repeat what I'm saying so that I can make sure that you're listening to me. Okay, because otherwise you're just not listening to this. So. In a situation where I would have to choose between who to save or who not to save, I may use the value that I place on them, my extrinsic value. But in a situation where I have to choose who to kill, I have to have a justification for it. And let me explain why. Because in a situation where I would choose who to save, if I choose neither, both of them would die, as far as I understand. But in a situation where I would choose which of them to kill, if I choose neither, none of them would die. So you see, when I make a choice, I can either save one or I cannot make a choice. In the situation of not making a choice in this other situation, it would imply better for everybody. So that's why I need a good enough justification when I'm making a choice to kill somebody. Okay, that's the difference. I could either choose to make a choice or I could choose to not make a choice. If I make a choice, I better have an informed choice whether to kill or not somebody.
Okay, I understand.
Okay, so then in a situation, why? So no, we have to go back to this. So why is it that it's okay to kill animals for optional food, but not humans?
Like I feel like I already gave the answer. Like we value human sentience more.
Doesn't
That's
matter who you value more. It doesn't matter who you value more because this isn't about
can
saving
create
one or the other.
environment.
I'm sure in a situation where you would have to save one or the other, you would save the human also. That's not the point. My question is, you could always just make the choice to not kill, right? Why would you choose to kill? Like, I'm not asking you to choose between killing a human or killing an animal. I'm choosing you to eat. You can either kill none of them or one of them, or even both of them if that's what you're into. But what you're saying is you choose to kill an animal even though you could choose to kill none of them. So why choose to kill an animal when you can choose to kill none of them?
If we choose to kill none of them, we would never breed them in the first place. They would never exist in the first place. Would you agree with that?
Yes, we bring them specifically to life to kill them. We give them life to treat them like objects and kill them. Do you think it is fair to bring to life human beings to treat them like objects and kill them?
I don't think it's fair for human beings, but it's fair for
Why
animals.
would it be fair? Why? Why would it be so? If it's unfair for a human, but it's fair for an animal, why?
It's written in the Bible.
I don't care about your book that says it's written in my book. I don't care about that book. I don't follow your book. I don't think it is true. I think it is a lot of fiction, and you
But
just
some
wanna.
people follow it.
Sure.
That's the reason. That's the
Sure.
reason.
Zeph, can you please stop? We were having a conversation with Kay, so go on, Kay.
Because human sentience is more valuable, but plus...
Who said that human sentience is more valuable?
I said that, and
okay,
you
so
said
it's still
that,
the extrinsic. Yeah, so it's still the No, I didn't never said human sentience is more valuable. I said in a situation where I have to choose to save a human over an animal, I would probably choose to save a human. That does not mean that I think human. That does not imply in any shape or form that I think human sentience means more than animal sentience or whatever. Like,
and what does that imply?
What does that imply? It just means that I have a preference for one individual over another. And as I ask, it depends on the human and it depends on the animal. So as I said, that's a preference of mine. A preference does not justify violation of rights. Do you think we should violate rights based on preferences?
No.
Yeah, for animals, we're able to do that.
And it has nothing to do with my question.
So it does very much so, because I keep asking you, why do you choose to kill animals when you don't need to? And when I bring it to humans, you seem to think that it's okay to kill humans. Okay, well, let's go to a different animal. Let's also test this. Maybe you have a different view also on this one. Is it okay to bring to life dogs, use them, and then kill them?
No.
Oh, there you go. So then, what is the difference?
We don't benefit.
Okay. Oh, we can benefit. We can eat their flesh. What do you mean?
But we don't like eating their flesh.
You can eat dogs?
You can eat dogs. Yes, you can eat dogs. You can eat humans. You can eat all the.
Oh my God! Who do that?
Who the same person who would the same people who would kill other animals and eat them would obviously, who would understand the logical conclusion that there is no difference between them or between their perspective, would obviously have no issue killing a dog because there is no difference between them. Because if I ask you fairly simple, what is it that you think from the perspective of a dog that you cut their throat for food, or a pig that you cut their throat for food? What is the difference? Do you think they really feel that different that justifies the difference in treatment?
I mean, it's their feelings aren't the only thing that bothers me.
That's I never asked. Listen, you gotta detach yourself from a little bit. Okay, let's go even backwards a little bit, because you seem to not understand the concept of morality too well. So when it comes to morality, if you judge an action whether it is moral or not, okay, I have to mute more people. I really don't like muting you, but I guess I have to. So when it comes to morality, when it comes to judging whether an action is moral or not, right? So I do an action, there is a victim of this action. Do you think that I should judge whether this action is moral or not based on my feelings towards the action or my feelings towards the victim? Or should we judge whether the action is moral or not based on what the victim wants?
Based on what the victim wants?
Are you sure?
Can you repeat that?
Yeah.
No, can you repeat that?
Yeah, sure. So so if an individual does an action towards another individual, you say this action is moral or not based on how the individual victim feels or based on how the individual perpetrator feels?
Victim feels.
Okay. So then in the situation, when you are choosing to exploit an animal, when you're choosing to cut the throat of an animal without any necessity involved, do you think it is moral to do so knowing that they are the victim? Are you really looking at their perspective when you're saying that it is moral for you to cut the throat of an animal for optional food?
It's necessary for billions of animals to come to the world. Otherwise, the
I'm
whole
asking you,
industry would
listen,
crash.
no. Listen, all of this
Therefore, it's necessary.
motivated reasoning means nothing to me because no, it is not necessary for us to bring animals into existence. So let's start with the beginning, okay? Because you seem to, when I ask you about killing, you have a problem with it. Okay, so let's start with the bringing into existence, which you say we should be doing. So I ask you, is it moral to violate the body autonomy of an animal so that you can bring to life kids for that animal? Well, not the animal. Is it moral to violate the body autonomy of an individual so that you can have more individuals that you can violate the body autonomy of and eventually kill all of them or do whatever you want to them? Is it moral for you, this action strictly, for you to bring to life, to control, to violate the body autonomy of an individual? Is it moral?
I don't think violating body autonomy for animals matters. As long
So
as you
is it
give them a
moral
good
to
life,
violate the body
as long as
autonomy? Is it moral to violate the body autonomy of an? When I ask you if this action is violating the body autonomy of an animal moral, I'm asking you, are you thinking from the perspective of the victim or are you thinking from your perspective again?
Both. Yeah, definitely both.
Both. So you think that the animal prefers that you violate their body autonomy?
No.
Okay, so then the victim,
wait.
the animal does not want you to violate their body autonomy, and yet you want to do this, you want to violate their body autonomy, why would it be moral? You seem to be thinking only about yourself and not the victim.
Because we can give them a good life if we violate their body
That's
autonomy.
not what I asked you. I didn't ask
life.
what you do afterwards. I didn't ask what you do afterwards. I don't care what you do afterwards. I'm interested in this particular action. In this particular action, you violating the body autonomy of an animal. Are you really thinking about what the animal prefers, or are you just thinking about what you want?
Okay. Like I said, animal prefers a good life too.
No,
if you violate their body autonomy,
no. I am going to mute you because I have asked you a question, you dodge the question and you move on to your narrative. And I'm not interested in that, okay? So one last time, I really dislike this, okay? So it seems like we can't have conversations if we're gonna go down this line. So everybody who's here and is listening, if you wanna have a conversation, please allow me or any other vegan person here to ask you questions so that you can assess the perspective. If you're interested in understanding this, you gotta answer the question. You gotta go through the process. Otherwise, if you just keep going down the same thing that you're always going, you'll always reach the same points. You can't get to a different conclusion by following the same steps, okay? You just cannot. So that's what we're here to do. We're here to ask you questions so that you reach a different conclusion.
I want to say my opinion, but I'm afraid I can...
Like 15 minutes listening. Interesting conversation. Would love to answer questions and show you my point of view about the things.
Sure. 1 second. Let me just finish with Kay, okay?
Awesome.
So Kay.
Okay, I really thought I was answering your question.
Okay, so I'll ask you...
Can you repeat your question? Yeah.
Sure. So, when it comes to violating the rights of an animal, the body autonomy of an animal, regardless for whatever reason you think it is, regardless if you say it's better for them, good for them, whatever it is that you think you're doing, are you thinking about what the animal wants when you're violating their body autonomy? Or are you thinking about what you think is best?
What I think, definitely.
Okay, so in this, do you think that that is how you judge a moral action, as we've established before? Simply looking at what you want and what you think, or should we also consider the position of the victim and what they want?
Yes, you are right. The killing part is immoral.
But is the violating the body autonomy part moral? Does the victim want you to put your hands in their anus so that you can put semen in their vagina?
It's not it's immoral by itself, but
it's immoral by itself.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
are you
don't
saying?
Let me answer the rest.
Yeah. So right now you realize that it is immoral, and now what you're thinking is that, but it is. You just said it's immoral, did you not?
Yeah, by itself. If you look
by itself,
at only
yes.
specifically that part.
So
yeah,
let me
immoral.
finish. So it is immoral, that by itself, and what you're thinking now is it's okay to do an immoral thing as long as it leads to better results, right?
Sure.
Is that really the philosophy that you live by, that the ends justify the means?
Probably in most situations, yeah.
In most situations.
Not you?
So if you, no, not me, I respect the rights of individuals. So if you or one of your family members were the ends in this situation, they happen to, somebody would violate their body autonomy for the sake of, I don't know, hundreds of people. Would you be okay with somebody violating the body autonomy of your mom, your dad, just to save hundreds of people?
Well, I don't care about hundreds of people. So in my morality, in my experience, I care more about my family. So no.
Okay.
Obviously, that wouldn't be okay.
Okay, let's imagine that there's not, okay, well, I appreciate you saying that, but let's imagine if it were a stranger. Would you be okay with violating the body autonomy of a stranger to save hundreds of people?
Yes, this is a very good moral question. And yes, I would be okay.
I don't know what to tell you, man. Mussolini had the same view as you. I don't think that's a good view to have. If your morality says that the ends justify the means, then there's another thing about morality that you need to understand. Morality is subjective indeed, but it is objectively applied. So that means that you should be okay, if you're okay with violating the body autonomy of a stranger to save 100 people, then you should be okay with violating the body autonomy of any of your family member to save 100 people. Because you know why? That stranger that you're violating the body autonomy of is an individual who is a family member to somebody. So it's the same thing. Morality needs to, your moral values need to be universally applied. You can't just apply moral values to the individuals that you want to apply them to.
The 100 strangers, they're also a family member.
Yeah, but the thing is, you don't have to, like, you're not responsible for saving 100 people, yet you are responsible for violating the body autonomy of somebody. There's a difference there. Like, imagine, if you know the whole trolley problem, there's also a problem where you say, would you kill a person, then donate all those organs to save 5 other people? I would say no, because everybody, I don't think the ends justify the means. I don't think you can do something immoral to justify moral actions. I think once you start with doing something immoral, you always end up doing immoral things. And when it comes to animal farming, if we come back to it, when it comes to animal farming, it's, you may think that we give them life, but in reality, they have at most a quarter of their natural lifespan. In reality, the exploitation that they suffer is unimaginable to you. Like, it's unimaginable. We tend to think that farming is this beautiful thing. It's not. It's unimaginably cruel. They live a life where any bond that they form with any being, family members, friends that they make, because animals make friends and family members, and they have emotions towards each other. And all of these individuals that they form bonds with and emotions towards, they all slowly get away throughout their small life. And at some point, they also get put in a truck where they don't know what they're going. Then they reach a building where they smell of blood, where they hear screams. Then they get shot in the head, knife to the throat, and chopped into pieces. And all of it for a fucking sandwich.
It's just the industry. It's
all
just
of
the
it
industry.
For
You're
a fucking
confusing.
Sandwich. All of it for
You're confusing.
All of it for a sandwich.
But okay, let me ask you this question then. You said like if a pig prefers to die or not. You asked me before that, right? I mean, obviously they would prefer to not get killed. Am I correct? That was kind of the question you asked.
Say it again.
You kind of asked this question: if a pig rathers to die or not. If a pig rathers to get killed or not.
Yeah, I ask you, what would they rather?
Okay. If a pig. Okay, my question is: does a pig rathers to not born at all, or born and live a happy life for 2 years and then die?
So would I, and I like to answer this question by putting myself in that position, would I rather be born into slavery or not be born at all? I think slavery, exploitation, and a quarter of my natural lifespan, then I would rather not be born at all. Yeah, I would rather not be. Would I rather be born in a place where I am just an object to everybody else, where what I want doesn't matter? Because even pigs, even if you quote unquote give them a good life, it doesn't matter what they want. You give them what you think they need, what you think it's good for them, and what you think can get you the best product out of them. You don't really, farmers don't care about the animals as much. Farmers care about animals like I care about my laptop. It is useful to me, it is good for me, and I take care of it up until I don't need it anymore. And when I don't need it anymore, I kill them and eat them. I wouldn't want to be brought into existence to be an object. No. So if somebody brings me into existence to be treated like an object, I'd rather not. Yeah, I'd rather be brought into existence and have an existence where I choose, where I can make choices for myself. And if not, that is pretty much torture to me. Yeah.
So when you were a kid, would you understand?
Wait, are you against contraception? Are you against contraception?
I don't know what that word means. So
are you against? Are you against prophylactics like like condoms? Are you against using the use of condoms?
No. Yeah, no.
Why not? Why not? It seems like because when you use a condom, you are essentially choosing to not bring to life a being, correct? And what you're saying is that it would be better off to bring that being to life. So why would you choose to not bring that life to being?
Because it's humans. It's different.
It's different. So wait, so in a situation where it's a human being, would you rather bring to life a human being and give them a good life, or not bring to life a human being at all?
Not bring to life at all.
Oh.
Because it's impossible.
You're just
theoretically possible, but practically impossible. What you said is you can't enslave a human and give him a great life. It's impossible in practical.
So why do you think you can enslave an animal and give them a good life? Why is that not an oxymoron, saying that you enslave an animal and give them a good life?
Because in intelligence they're very low.
So wait,
they don't understand what's going on. They don't suffer from enslavement.
Okay. So a human being who has the same cognitive abilities of an animal, the same level of intelligence, who wouldn't understand that they're being enslaved or not, would it be okay to enslave them?
They're as smart as human, but they don't understand the enslavement.
So correct? If a human being would be, no, they would be as smart as any other animal, as a pig. They would have the same cognitive abilities. If we find a human being like that, would it be okay to enslave them?
Like I said, man, when it comes to humans, I have different standards.
But that's the whole thing about it. You understand? Do you understand this discrimination that you're creating? Because did you choose to be born human?
No, obviously not.
No, and an animal didn't choose to be born an animal, and yet you form different moral rules based on how they're born. And not only that, because there is no logic between those different moral rules. They're simply because you say this species, like a dog, is worth living. We shouldn't be doing bad things to them. But this other species, as long as you bring them into existence, you can pretty much do whatever you want to them because, hey, at least you gave them existence. How is that fair? How can you ever say that that is fair when you literally treat them differently based on how they're born? And when it comes to treating them differently, I essentially mean using them, treating them like an object and killing them.
The animals understand that they're getting treated like an object.
Well,
they even understand
a dog doesn't also, yet you wouldn't want a dog to be treated like an object, would you? We just established. A dog would understand just as much as a pig would, and you wouldn't do it to a dog.
I mean, what do you think about owning pets? Isn't that also enslavement?
It is. So if you treat the pet as an object, it is enslavement. If you buy the pet from a breeder, it is you are doing something bad. But if you are taking a rescue animal, one which would spend their entire existence in a shelter, or one which would be killed unless you take them into your house and try to take care of them, and when you take them into your house, you look after their interests, not your own. That means that if they want to do something, you look after what they want to do, of course, to the limit of your capabilities, then it is not enslavement. But if you bring an animal into your house and you say, this animal is cute, and then the minute that they're no longer cute, or you no longer find them cute, and then you throw them outside, kill them, or whatever, because you no longer find them cute, you are looking after your interest, and it's immoral. It's pretty simple. As I said, a moral action is when you look at the victim also.
Yeah, you're right, but you're also realizing that what you're saying would make the world worse in overall.
How would it?
Millions of dogs wouldn't even live in homes.
Wait a
for
minute.
no reason, because it's immoral, because they're getting enslaved. Like
So wait a minute, because I would rather if there was a dog, as you say, that's taken from a shelter, I would rather that dog either remain in a shelter, or worst case scenario, euthanasiaed, like, using euthanasia on them, rather than them being put into a house where they get beaten up, and when they don't get beaten up, they get yelled at or thrown out. I would rather somebody, at least, like, I want animals to have the same basic rights that we do, and that is freedom and to be treated like individuals, not to be treated like objects. So if you're going to take an animal and treat them like an object, I would rather you not take that animal at all.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. Obviously, that's fair. But what you say makes impossible for next generation. What you say would decrease the dog population so massively in the next generation.
Yeah.
That it would cause the world harm overall.
How would it cause
even
the
the
world
happy even the happy dogs wouldn't exist.
How would it cause the world harm?
Because even the happy dogs wouldn't exist.
No, yet again. So do you think that when somebody wants a pet, do you think that they should first look in the shelters and adopt?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
They should look at the shelters.
Okay, so let's do that. Let's imagine a scenario where everybody from now on just takes the animals from the shelters, just takes the pets. All these people, right now, they've taken the pets, they've taken the animals, and there's no more animals in shelters, right? And somebody wants to have a pet. Do you think it would be fair for a human being to go and jerk off a dog, use that sperm, and put it in the vagina of another dog because a human being wants a pet companion?
Yeah, that's not the ideal scenario.
Yeah. So if the other dogs reproduce and we want to take care of them, like by treating them like individuals that they are, you can do that. But if there are no individuals on this planet that you can have a relationship with, whether human or non-human, then you don't just take it upon yourself, force other sentient beings so that you can have a companion in your house.
Yeah.
That's essentially what it is also for food. It's the same for all of it.
Okay. Like you say, it's unnecessary.
It is unnecessary, yeah.
And that's basically kind of your whole point, that all of these are unnecessary.
They are, and you're right. That is a very good point. It is very unnecessary. And the fact that we do this just because we want to, or just because we're used to, or because it's cultural to do so, doesn't even matter. I don't think makes it right.
Okay. Let's say I agree with you. But holding an extremist position like veganism,
well, that's what veganism
absurd and is not helping.
Is my position extreme?
Yeah, yes, I think it's extreme.
So it's extreme to not violate the body autonomy of animals if you don't need to?
But you even you despise hunting too, right?
That is still a body autonomy violation. You're putting a bullet through an animal's head when you don't need to.
Okay. Yeah,
If you don't
I
need
understand
to, why would
your
you
whole point.
violate the rights of an animal when you don't need to? That's the whole point. That's veganism. Veganism means respect the animal's rights, given that you don't need to violate their rights today.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Like I said, I think we can give animals conditions that justifies the killing part, and you believe that it's unnecessary and it's never okay.
We have
under
science.
any circumstance.
It's not my belief. We have science. We can thrive on a plant-based diet. We can.
Yeah, that's correct.
If we can build in. Not only we can thrive on a plant-based diet, we effectively. Our animal agriculture implies a lot of plant agriculture to feed the animals. So we're essentially doing double the work. So that means, of course, we're using more energy in the process. We're using 4 times more land, 3 times more water. We're killing considerably more animals in the process of farming animals. So all of this for something we don't need, like it's bad for the animals, it's bad for us, nobody wins. Absolutely everybody loses. The only individuals who win in this scenario are not even the farmers, because they also barely get money from it. It's the corporations, the big ass corporations, who they will tell you whatever you need to believe so that you can buy their product.
Yeah, I mean, alcohol is bad for humans too, but
it's a choice, right? It's a choice. It's your choice, your body. Alcohol is your choice, your body. When you're violating somebody else's right, it's no longer your choice, your body. It's your choice to violate somebody else's body. But let's move on. I think you kind of got the gist of it. Maybe come back to the channel and have more conversations with us. But
yeah.
I hope at least you got something from it.
Hi,
Sure,
everyone.
it was nice to meet you.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to add something real quick by the end of this lovely conversation. I think human rights is a too extreme position, and I think we should get rid of human rights. I think it's just like way too extreme to think about the interests of humans and to grant them the basic right not to be enslaved and exploited. And I think it's also very, very unfair that other animals don't have rights. And so justice for all, either we all have rights, which would be animal rights, or none of us have rights. So that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's pretty extreme to respect the rights of others that you don't actually value.
So do you eat only vegetables and products from?
Yeah, I eat only.
Is that what you eat?
So veganism is not just about food. It's about clothing, entertainment. Every single form of oppression towards animals, we reject it. So that means that if there is a product that we need, and there is an option where they don't exploit animals, then we'll choose that option. If there's a product that we need, but it exploits animals, unfortunately, because of the world we live in, if you need it, well, it depends on the vegan in this situation. There's vegans who are highly principled and wouldn't use it. Like I was describing yesterday, a person who died because they refused cancer treatment because it was tested on animals. And then there's vegans like myself who, if I had to survive, I might resort to animal exploitation if it's needed. But that is absolutely never the case in today's world. Exploiting animals would still be wrong in that situation. It would just be a little bit justified.
So, do you care about like the lives of insects?
Did I just not respond to your question before about this? Did you hear when I said that animal agriculture depends on plant agriculture?
Plant agriculture uses pesticides. So
did you understand?
A lot of insects.
Did you understand that animal agriculture depends on plant agriculture?
What do you mean plant agriculture?
Plant agriculture means planting plants.
Are you saying that they don't use these pesticides? They don't use it?
I'm asking you, do you understand the simple principle that in order to farm animals, we need to farm plants to feed the animals?
So it's okay to kill insects.
That's not what I said, and I'm going to ask you a question again. Thank you for the bruh.
Oh, you said.
So, do you understand the simple principle that in order to farm animals, you have to farm plants to feed the animals?
How can we farm plants?
We put seeds in the earth,
Stop
put
using
water.
that, bruh. Stop using.
So we put seeds
I'm
on
eating
in the ground. We pour water, and then a plant grows. That's how we farm plants.
I mean farms. Can this guy? I will mute this guy. Okay. So it's okay for you to interrupt me. It's okay for your friends to interrupt me, but for us, it's illegal to interrupt you. Okay, that's bruh. So how people like these days plant like farms? They're using procedures. So how can you like confirm that that tomato that you're eating has not grown by a procedure? How can you confirm that?
Okay, so I don't know what you just asked because I will answer your question. How can I know if of something? But before we go there, Zeph, before we go there, I actually asked you a question, okay? And you asked me a question back because I thought you didn't understand the question. You asked me what is plant agriculture, and I explained what plant agriculture is. So now that you know what plant agriculture is, do you understand that farming animals depends on farming plants?
No, how can they?
So, in order for us to farm animals, we have to feed them a fuck ton, like a lot. So what we do is we farm to feed the animals. We farm corn, we farm soy, we farm alfalfa. All of this farming is farming of plants that could otherwise be used to farm for humans. But nevertheless, we farm so that we can feed the animals. Do you understand that?
Bro, they can eat themselves, like they can depend on themselves by eating grass and eating in the ground.
Do you understand there's not enough grass out there to feed the amount of animals that we have, first of all? Second of all, chickens do not eat grass. You are thinking of cows. Pigs eat some of the grass, but not a lot. Like, you are just mishmashing and like strawmanning the argument a lot because you're saying this animal eats grass, therefore if we have enough grass, we should be able to feed all animals. Do you understand?
How those animals survived before Homo sapiens?
So those animals are animals we created. So asking the questions how they survived before humans existed is a non-question because these animals didn't exist before humans existed. So these animals probably cannot survive without the help of humans. No, the jungle. So the chicken is an animal that we domesticated from the red jungle fowl. I think if I'm not mistaken is the name. And yeah, they did not exist before. We domesticated them, and yes, they are dependent on us right now. But either way, like as Tone also mentioned in the comments section right now, grass doesn't grow in the winter. Either way, it doesn't even matter. You don't have to understand why. You can just look at the statistics. If you don't understand why, you can look at the statistics and see that we grow a lot of crops, a lot of plants, simply for the animals.
Dodging my question. You just keep dodging my question. You don't answer me straight.
No, because I wanted you to understand this perspective first before I answer your question, as I said.
Yeah.
So do you understand now? Do you now understand?
Why do you eat tomatoes?
Do you understand? Zeph, this isn't how it's gonna work. This isn't how it's gonna work, and I'll have to mute you, because as I explained it before, you trying to convince me of something that obviously you don't understand pretty well will not work. I'm trying to show you a different perspective. I'm trying to educate you in the process. If I'm being condescending or something, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to. I literally am trying to show you a different perspective on the matter, okay? So when I ask you these questions, is because I want you to understand the different perspective, not because I want you to prove my point. I'm not debating whether I'm right or wrong. I'm 100% certain that I'm right. This isn't a one-time conversation. You're the 1,100 something person that I've spoken to. There is no argument against veganism. There isn't, no matter how much you try. So I want right now to have a conversation with you so that you at least understand our perspective and then come with arguments. How does that sound? I will unmute you.
First of all, if you keep muting me, I will go because you're using like
okay, then please go. Then please go.
No, and you can't answer my question if I will go then.
Okay, so Zeph, I have muted you again because I have tried explaining. Okay, you went. Well, it's better. You either go or you try to understand a different perspective.
I'd like to go next.
Foolish has been waiting a while, apparently. So.
Okay. Who's next?
Can I, for a quick second, can I add I'd like to add something to the conversation, the previous one. Dairy cows, for example, are so highly bred to be so productive that if they're currently or have been recently pregnant and give milk for that reason, and you only feed them grass, they die of milk fever because these animals have such a high energy requirement that you need to feed them energy-dense, calorie-dense food for them to even just survive on their own. And all the farms around me, as we speak, there's a ton of farms around me. They all have corn fields or grain fields or soy fields to feed the animals because it's more calorie dense than having a lot of grass, which is impossible for all these farms to have all that space for grass, which is not very calorie dense. It makes more sense for these farmers to grow grains and such. That's all.
Yeah. That's very true. That's very true. They do need a lot of calories. Thank you for that addition. And feel free, Renee, to interrupt me and add more additions if you want. This goes for all vegans.
Hi, Chip.
I would like to jump in if you guys will allow me.
Yeah, I heard you're next, Foolish. Hi, go on.
Okay, sounds good.
So
next now or next after this guy?
No. Let's have a conversation now. So I usually start by asking people how they feel about enslaving humans or enslaving animals. How do you feel about either of these?
Okay, so I'm gonna start with saying that I do recognize that you have the moral high ground when it comes to that, and no matter how you look at it, it would be more ideal to not eat animals rather than to eat them.
Okay, so first of all, I appreciate you saying that, but that's not the message that we're trying to get across. It's a lot of the times people understand this message from vegans, but the reality, the message that we're trying to get across is not that we have the moral high ground, as you're saying, but rather that consuming animal products, exploiting animals is morally wrong according to your own morals, most likely. If you are trying to be morally consistent, which you should be because that's what morality is. It's a property of morality is consistency. So if you are trying to be a moral person and thus consistent, you probably should be vegan.
Yes, I understand that. However, it hasn't always been about morality. It's mostly been about survival with eating meat.
Yeah, but that's not the case anymore.
Well, it's not the case anymore, but we have to accept the fact that just by the fact we can sit here and be able to synthesize all these thoughts is because we have eaten animals in the past. And if we didn't go through that step, then we would not be the people that we are today.
Sure. That's it. Okay, I agree with that. So
So
you can also, 1 second, Foolish, you can also agree that all the wars that we have raged, the fact that Attila the Hun pillaged and raped like hundreds of thousands of women, or so is the legend, all of the things that happened in the past, good or bad, have led us to where we are right now. That does not morally justify the bad things. So just to be clear.
Yeah, I agree with you, but it hasn't always been about morality. Because when someone kills an animal, it's not because they're good, either good or evil or moral, because they need it to survive. They use an animal's hide because they're cold and they have to use it. And earlier, when you were speaking to that previous person, you had mentioned using I can't quite understand, but you had mentioned whether you should choose between your family or the animal. Well, if you have the choice on whether to choose between us or your own family as a human, we will always choose ourselves over an animal.
I don't expect you.
To the point where,
but I don't expect you to choose something else. Let me just be clear. But you're not in those situations anymore. You don't need to do this to animals anymore. And I agree with you that maybe in the past it was needed, but today it is no longer needed. So how can we today say that it is moral to farm animals?
The only reason why it's moral is because we have been nurtured to do it. Because we have been nurtured to do it, you have to accept that it's going to take some time to get off of it. So you
wait a
cannot
minute.
criticize people
Wait a minute.
animals because we had to do it to survive.
Okay, so what you're saying is because we had to do it in the past, we no longer have to do it. It is still moral to do so because we had to do it in the past?
No, I'm not saying it's moral to do so. I'm saying it's moral because we have to accept that we did it because we had to survive.
So it's moral
Therefore,
because we
we've
did
been
it in the
wired.
past to survive. That's what I asked you. Is it
No.
moral because we did it in the past to survive?
Well, okay, let me re-answer that with another question. Was it moral when we did it to survive?
No, it was justified but not moral.
Okay, so justified and moral. What do you like? Where are you putting the trait then?
I wouldn't say it's
So
moral
right
to
now, are
kill.
you
So let me put it this way. I wouldn't say it's moral to kill a human being in a survival situation. Like if I'm on a deserted island, I don't think it's the right thing. It's morally right for me to kill a person. But if I had to survive, I would do it. And I don't think I should be judged for it because I did it in a situation where I had to. That's what I mean.
Well, that's exactly my.
But
That's exactly my point.
okay,
Is that
but
we have
foolish. Wait a minute, because your point is saying that let's imagine your point is actually this. I was on a deserted island. I killed a human being to survive. I got used to killing human beings to survive. Therefore, me killing human beings right now to survive, to eat, is moral, correct?
Well, it's not that it's moral, but you can understand why that person might kill other humans. They've been brought up in that environment where they had to do it to survive. And if you're doing the moral argument, an animal would eat us.
Go on, sorry, I have muted them.
Yeah, so are you saying that it's moral for us to not eat animals, but animals can eat us?
Oh, we can go down
Morality
that
is
path.
for-
No, look, so wait, we cannot stray away from what you just said now, okay? We got to go back to what you said, okay? So what you essentially said is that I should understand the situation that these people are in. I do understand the situation that these people are in. What the problem I have with the people that I speak to is the fact that a lot of them don't try to understand this perspective. A lot of them just try to come up with justifications or excuses for continuing it. But do you think that the fact that we needed to do something in the past, or the fact that we did something in the past, makes it moral for us to do it right now? And where I'm trying to get at, to be clear, is I want you to tell me, is it moral today, in today's world, where we do not need to, is it moral to farm animals? I'm not asking you if they know how to do it. I know they're primed to do it. I know they might be in a situation where they're unaware that what they're doing is immoral. But my question to you right now is, do you think it's moral to farm animals?
Is that we can't use the moral argument because morality is for, or has been for, humans until it grows wider and wider and wider because we can afford for it to. That's just the way it works.
So foolish. I'm asking you a question and you don't seem to. So is it more? So you're saying morality does not apply for actions being done onto animals?
I'm saying it takes time. It takes time for it to
That's
go
not
to
what I
one
asked
point.
you. Like, I didn't ask you how much time it takes for somebody to change. I didn't ask you whether somebody even should change. I didn't ask you. I asked you whether it is moral or not. I never asked what the conclusion out of it. So you can find an action that you're doing immoral and you can continue doing that action and you would be doing immoral actions. What I'm asking you right now is not the consequence of you finding it immoral. I'm not asking you whether it is difficult for them to change. I'm not asking whether they should even change. What I'm asking right now is if it's moral to farm an animal when you do not need to.
Only if we do it to survive.
So only
And
if we
it's
do it to
moral,
survive.
yes.
Yeah. So if we do not need to, as it is today, then it is immoral, correct?
Well, then you're gonna say the people that do it to survive are moral, but the ones that I mean, we use an ox. Let me give you an example. Can I give you an example?
But wait a minute, before you give this example, you just said just now it's only moral if it's required for survival. So then I ask you the very simple question. Today we do not need to farm animals. So is it then that today in today's world, is it moral or is it immoral to farm animals knowing that we do not need to?
But strictly to farm animals, not to eat meat?
I'm asking you to farm animals.
Okay, to farm animals, it's a gray area. It's a gray area. Because we look, my point is
you're contradicting your previous
no,
statement. You realize that, right? You just
I
said that farming
don't
animals is immoral unless we need it for survival. Now you're saying it's a gray area even if we don't need it for survival. So which is it?
Because it's a gray area because there are many areas in the world where people still do that for survival. That's
But that's not what I asked.
So you can't say
okay,
no,
but
but you can't
what I
say
asked you
one side of the
foolish.
you can't say
Okay.
what one side of the world is doing is moral, but the other side is not moral.
You're right. You're right. That was my bad. Okay, let me make it clear. Okay, that was my bad. Okay, knowing if we do not need to farm animals, if we do not need to do it, then is it clear that farming animals is immoral if we do not need to do it?
Yes, in a way, yes.
Okay. Do you as an individual, because we can speak about other individuals, but I'm mostly interested in the person that I'm speaking to. Do you as an individual think that you need to pay for farming of animals?
I don't need to.
No. You don't need to. Okay, so then do you agree that when you choose to pay for products that come out of farming animals, you are acting immorally?
Yes, in a way, yes.
Why do you prefix it with in a way? Why do you say in a way?
Because I acknowledge that I'm eating this because that is what has been the most, or that is still the most plentiful source of calories available to me. And I agree with you that we have to move away from that, but we're still in that process.
No, you have to.
Well, we all have to, because the only reason you're the way you are is because your ancestors have eaten meat.
But foolish, you have to. You have to. Why do you have to speak on behalf of everybody else? I spoke for myself when I went vegan, and I, as myself, went spoke to others as an animal rights activist. But I only expect that the people that I speak to go vegan, or the people that are listening, not the people that are otherwise. I don't expect the world to go vegan without them even knowing what it is, or right. Sorry, Alexandra, go on.
No, it's fine. I just didn't want to interrupt you. Yeah, my ancestors, well, they eat other humans, and especially toddlers. Oh, they loved eating toddlers. And I think that's a very good justification to continue to do that, right? So I just want to agree with that. I think that's very logical and very reasonable. And I think it's a very good argument to do that to other animals too, just because someone has done it in the past. Let's continue to do it. Sounds good. Sounds good, everyone.
I completely disagree. I don't think any society has really focused on cannibalism as a way to actually get sustenance. And that's my point. My point is that humans
Yeah, your
are
point
actually
is not valid. It was about your logical reasoning, which is completely incoherent. I'm sorry, but it's so weak to say that just because you've been doing something in the past, or your ancestors or somebody else, or who the fuck we don't know, that's just like peer pressure from dead people, you know? So that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean shit. It doesn't give you a justification.
That's not it at all.
It doesn't mean shit, you know, and it doesn't justify what you are doing right now. I mean, all of humanity and our history is built up upon terrible, terrible atrocities and things we've done to other humans, like terrible stuff. I mean, we cannot continue to do that just because, oh, well, in the past, other humans have done it. That's such a weak argument, and I just wanted to show you how weak it is by putting the same logic into another context, which is, well, my ancestors, they loved eating toddlers, okay, or they loved eating, I don't know, dogs that they bred on a farm and that they punched to death every day, you know? It doesn't give me a justification to do that, though. Do you understand that, or
is it true that your family has eaten toddlers in the past? Because we're actually talking about things that are true. We have
okay, I see you're not qualified to get the point.
Is actually what we have had to eat in the past. In areas where it's been super cold or super hot, agriculture was not possible, and agriculture was not as developed as it is today. We have had to eat meat. My point is...
Wait, but that's not a valid point, because if agriculture was not possible, then how did we even feed the animals?
Well, the animals, they grazed. We hunted. We were
Wait, what do you mean? You just said that it's a cold climate. What did they graze on if it's a cold climate?
Okay, even if it's cold, grass is still available. Animals, they dig under the snow to find sustenance.
You are fake news.
Do you know how many?
It's true.
Do you know how much grass a cow needs in order to grow to the weight that they're growing?
Well,
Let alone how many
the problem
cows we
isn't the
kill,
cow.
how many cows we exploit for dairy. But none of that matters because, foolish, you have agreed that nowadays it is immoral to farm animals. So why are you still paying for something that you consider immoral?
So your point is strictly on farming animals, not eating meat. Is that correct?
It's about exploiting animals, and we're starting with farming animals, yes.
Okay, I just want to put the pin on the board. Are you okay with people eating meat when it's not farmed?
I'm not okay with exploitation or killing of animals. If you, let's put it this way, if you find a corpse in the forest and you want to eat that corpse, I wouldn't mind that. I don't have a problem with that.
Because it's already dead. That's what you're saying. The point is that we're taking life. Is that it?
Not just taking life, taking away freedom, bringing into existence beings only to take away their freedom, their life. It's exploitation and abuse and slaughter. Yeah, I have a problem with that. Exploitation, abuse, and slaughter.
And yes, there is a problem with exploitation. My point is, if you allow me for 1 second, my point is the world works in the way that you have to move towards what's positive and away from you had to do that in the past, but it's gonna take us time to actually change as a species. So you can't point fingers at other people for consuming meat when meat has been the means that got us where we are today.
Okay, but
You
foolish.
understand?
You
I
are fake
understand.
news.
So foolish. I understand what you're saying, but the thing about it is, when you say the world needs to change, it feels like you're dodging the responsibility you have, because you definitely have a responsibility, right? And I definitely want the world to change, don't get me wrong, but the world will change when it starts with each individual at a time. And right now, we are telling you, you acknowledge that something you're paying for is immoral. You acknowledge that you don't need to. So I'm interested in you. And before we get the world to be vegan, why is it that you continue paying for something that you find immoral?
Okay, before I can answer that question, would it be okay if I hunted for my meat?
No, because it would be the same thing. You're using an animal, you're treating them like an object for something you don't need. You're still taking away their life when you don't need to.
How do you know I don't need to?
You just said you don't need to.
No, but I'm saying like you eat to survive.
No,
my point
animal
is,
products are not eaten to survive. They're eaten today their animals are bred into existence for profit. And the reason why you eat animals is out of convenience and something you were used to. That's just somebody taught you to do this, and you just continue doing it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you.
But does that mean you should continue doing it? Like if somebody taught you to enslave humans, like imagine 200 years ago, okay, when slavery was rampant, when slavery was reaching the end of its life cycle, like we're talking about chattel slavery that was happening in US, okay? As it was ending, somebody could have easily said, like you're saying now, I was born, somebody taught me to have slaves. It would be incredibly inconvenient for me to not have slaves anymore. Therefore, I think we should continue the slavery. Yes, we as a humanity should change, but I'm going to continue having slaves.
Well, the difference between what you're saying and the case at hand is that slavery was not necessary. A lot of societies evolved without actually using slaves. But almost all human society evolved today by eating meat.
But there no longer is that necessity. You might be right, and maybe slavery was not necessary. Well, I mean, it definitely was not necessary, but the way at the end of it, the situation was exactly the same as it is today. Slavery was no longer necessary. Enslaving animals is no longer necessary. Exploiting and killing animals is no longer necessary. We're living today, right now. The choices that you're making are in a world where none of it is necessary. So why do you want to keep doing it?
Well, that's my point exactly, Chip. Like, I'm meeting you halfway. What I'm saying is, it's not necessary. I agree with you in that part. But you have to acknowledge the fact that us as a society have been nurtured in such a way. And because we have been nurtured in that way, it's going to take time for us to move in the other way. Meaning that people that
I agree with
are
you.
not inherently bad people.
But
because
so listen, foolish. No. So let me be clear with this idea of bad people. I'm sorry for interrupting you there. So you are a bad person, like you, foolish. You have not been a bad person until now. You're right. You have not been. But if you continue consuming animal products from now on, I don't know if you're a bad person or not, but you are definitely doing bad things because you admit that what you're doing is immoral, that it is bad. So when you choose to continue doing bad things, at what point does continuously doing bad things make you a bad person? I don't know. That's up to you, I guess. But you are doing bad things.
It makes you a bad person when everyone has reached a consensus that that is immoral.
No, that is
Sadly,
not true.
that's the way the
Well,
world
wait a
works.
minute. Wait a minute.
Bruh.
That is not true. You know why? Because when it came to slavery, there was a consensus that it's not necessarily bad. Slavery was always bad. It didn't just become bad when everybody agreed we should abolish it. Slavery was always bad. Just like this is always bad. Just right now, you realize that what you're doing is bad. So if an action that you're doing, you yourself acknowledge, before you bring society and everybody else into it, which we both agree society needs to change. I also agree with you, the fact that it's difficult for a lot of people in society to change. But you yourself can change today. You don't longer have to, it's not difficult for you. You no longer have to participate in this. You can make different choices. So why would you continue doing something that you just admitted that is wrong?
Well, because it's a gray area.
No, you said it's wrong. I'm sorry, but you said it's wrong, and I feel like we're going nowhere. You refuse to dodge the. Do you understand the responsibility you have for the animals that are exploited and killed in your name?
Well, are you referring just to farmed animals or animals that are hunted as well?
All of them. I don't know. If you hunt animals, if you pay for hunted animals, if you farm animals, if you pay for farmed animals, do you acknowledge that you have responsibilities in the exploitation and death of those animals?
Yes, I have my part of responsibility.
Not your part, that you are directly responsible for it, because there are certain animals out there who are specifically farmed for you and in your name.
I'm not directly responsible for it, but I have my part of it. My point is, if you are willing to eat it, you should be willing to kill it.
That's such a nonsensical point. That's such a bullshit point from to begin with. If you are willing to eat it, yeah, like imagine me saying, well, you know what? If you want to be like obviously cannibalism is wrong. We all agree it. But if you yourself can kill a human, then cannibalism is no longer wrong, right? Because you can do it yourself.
No, that's not a valid argument because
well, it's exactly the same thing. You're saying that eating animals is no longer wrong if you can kill the animals yourself. It's exactly the same thing.
No, my point is I'm going to go.
Can we move on to somebody else? Can we move on to somebody else? I'm losing brain cells here, for real.
I'm going to finish. Let me just conclude. I'm going from the basis. You might not like what I'm saying. I'm going from the basis that humans are inherently selfish. And you have to work around
you are selfish.
that. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah, the proof is in the pudding, right?
You are selfish.
I mean, it's...
Foolish.
Well, we are all selfish.
No,
we're
foolish.
all selfish.
Foolish. Right
when
now.
When it comes to the exploitation of other animals, I'm not selfish because I'm not exploiting animals. I reject that idea that other animals are here for me to use and exploit. So please don't speak for everyone, okay? You selfish person. Thank you.
Mark, but we can conclude there. I had a good conversation. Thanks for having me on your platform. But
I hope you come back. I hope you come back and have conversations with us. But I hope you also look into the responsibility you have, because you may not call it direct responsibility just because others share it with you. But you do have direct responsibility. It's just that others share it with you. But you are direct, like the fact that you pay for it means that it means that you're directly paying for exploitation of animals. Your money goes directly into animal exploitation. There is no.
Well, animals eat meat too, and animals have no morality.
Yeah, I have a final question, if I may ask. Can I ask you a final question?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, but please be honest with me, okay? Please be really, really honest with me.
Well.
Okay. Do you actually care about other animals than yourself?
Yes.
Okay, so do you think that we should respect other animals?
Yes, I do.
Okay, can we respect other animals when we oppress and exploit them, although we don't have to? Is that respectful? Is that fair?
It's not respectful, but it's never been about respect.
That was not the question. The question was if it's respectful or fair. You said no. Very glad that you at least acknowledged that.
It's never
My
been
next
about
question
respect.
would be, I still have some questions if you want to ask them. That's just simple yes and no questions. Would you like to switch positions with any of these animals that get exploited and decapitated for you?
Oh, hell no.
Okay, so you understand that this is an injustice, right?
It is an injustice.
Okay. Let me continue. Okay, you understand that this is an injustice. Okay, so how many more animals should be oppressed and exploited for you? If you could make a wish, what would you wish for? If it would be without any problems, without anything, any of your thoughts and doubts are covered. If it would be the easiest thing ever, how many more animals should be exploited for you specifically from now on? What do you wish for?
I wish that no animal ever had to eat any other animal. That's just not the way the world works, though.
Okay, so that includes you as an animal because you have the option to not eat other animals.
Absolutely. If I get
Okay, and now don't stop.
if I
Okay,
may.
please let me finish. Please, I'm begging you, please.
Yeah, I just have to go. Let me just say one more thing.
Yes,
If I get
I
stuck
really
in the
like your
middle of
answers. I really like your answers so far. Please let me continue because we're almost done.
Well, he asked a question. I just want to answer it, right? If I get stuck in the middle of a forest right now and a bear eats me, I'm not gonna say the bear is immoral. I'm gonna
that was
know
not
the
the
bear.
question. That's changing the goalpost. Can I please continue
No,
with
it's
my
not.
line of questioning?
Sure,
Can I
sure.
please?
Continue.
Well, I'm also a meat eater, so you know I can go next if
So
you think
rude,
like.
honestly.
Yeah, continue with Vic. I have to jump in for now. Thanks for having me on your platform. Take care. Bye-bye.
Right, Ash or Donald would be next.
Alexander, do you want to do it? Because I feel like you did it great.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this person is listening, but I just want to leave you with the following train of thought. If you really think that we should respect other animals, and if you really think that it is unfair and that you would not like to switch positions with any of them, then you now are faced with the following option. You can either continue to be on the side of the oppressor, or you can switch onto the side of the animals. There is nothing in between, as this is a question of justice or injustice. Animals are either exploited by you or not. So you can decide from now on which side you want to be. And I'm just wondering if any non-vegans who are listening to this right now are out there who are qualified enough to join the fight in animal liberation. And if not, just next. Okay, this is just what I want to leave you with. Please consider your own values. Please ask yourself on which side you want to be from now on. If you really want an animal oppressing piece of shit to the animals, or if you want to be vegan from now on, because that's the bare minimum that we owe to all the other animals that we left without any rights and with us as the biggest oppressor that has ever existed. So yeah, have a nice vegan day, everyone, and continue the good debates.
But wait, can I ask you? Can I ask you something? Can I ask you something?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. You said you don't have to, but what if I have to?
That's a situation that is covered by the vegan philosophy, which states that it's a way of living, it's not a way of dying. So if your life really, really, really depends on it and you don't have any other option, and you might have to put your own interest of living and continuing to live above the interest of someone else, there's no one that could blame you for that, you know? I mean, it would still not be justified from the victim's perspective, but it would be excusable from your perspective, of course. I mean, in a survival situation, I might eat you if you look tasty enough, but
you would eat me.
No need for it.
Yeah, but would that be morally okay to eat somebody versus your life?
No.
Does your life matter more?
As I just said, from the victim's perspective, it would still not be justifiable. Of course,
in everyone's perspective, not from the victim's.
Of course, when you're the victim, it is never justifiable. But in a survival situation, also from your perspective, and you want to continue to survive, of course, it's in a way excusable. It's not justifiable. It's really not, but it's excusable, you know, because
because this is about morality, though.
Our own survival instinct is so strong that to give that up above the interest of someone else's life, we cannot ask that of anyone, because our life means as much as to ourselves as the life of others mean to themselves. You know what I mean? So there's no, of course, you got to choose your own life because that's your subjective experience, and I wouldn't blame anyone for it, to be honest.
Well, but we could also say that we could
I'll
fade
give you
away and then not survive. So.
Mr. Tidy, we've already had a conversation with you.
Tidy.
Can you mute yourself?
Yeah, but I'm just
sorry,
but that's all.
But what you just said, to be honest, I'm gonna give my honest opinion. You're just barbaric. You know what a barbaric person is. If you're gonna say you're gonna eat someone if you're about to die, then I would say simply you're barbaric and you're contradicting yourself.
So wait a minute.
You're talking about.
Wait, I can't accept this bullshit. So Sissy, you know the people who crashed in the Andes, the people who their plane crashed in the Andes, and in order for them to survive, they resorted to eating the dead people. Do you think what they did was wrong?
You're talking about dead people. I'm talking about alive people.
So Sissy, in a so those people who crashed in the Andes, who had to eat other dead people to survive.
That's not
Do you think what they did is right or what it did is wrong?
Hold on. Before saying that, she didn't answer the question. Is it barbaric for her?
Sissy, can you please? No. Can you please?
No, you need to answer the question first.
This isn't how it's gonna go.
Can you ask it again? I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry. Can you ask again?
You said you would eat someone if your boss, you know, if it depends on your life, you would eat someone.
Yeah.
Isn't it barbaric?
Of course it is. Of course it is from the victim's perspective.
Then how do you
barbaric.
say? No, I'm not talking about the victim's perspective.
Are you interrupting me when I reply to your question?
Yeah.
Can I reply or are you going to interrupt me? Okay.
Go ahead.
So of course it's barbaric, and of course, as I said multiple times right now, it's not justifiable from the victim's perspective ever. Because if I would be in the victim's shoes, of course I would not like to be eaten. I would not like to be a food source for someone else just because they have to survive. Of course, it's not justifiable, but I cannot deny that my own survival instinct and my own interest in my own life is just as big as the interest in others' lives. And so, of course, I'm putting my own life above the ones when it comes to survival, above the life of someone else. Or maybe I won't, to be honest, because I've never been in an actual survival situation where I would have to make that option. I mean, if I would be stranded really right now on an island with a cute pig or chicken, to be honest, I'm not even sure if I could kill them or if I would just starve. So I really don't know. But theoretically, I wouldn't blame people if they kill someone else to survive. I cannot blame anyone. Because it's the last resort. It's a fight for survival, and then it is what it is, and it really sucks. Of course, I would like a world without eating others, of course, but I'm not sure if in a survival situation that would ever be justified. To be honest.
You said you cannot blame them.
Of course not.
Do anybody here agree with her?
Okay, so let me be clear, Sissy.
Yes.
So if you were in a situation where it would be between you or another person dying, which one would you choose?
I would choose dying because I'm not selfish.
Okay, you would choose dying. Okay, that's fine. But you know what? In a situation where it's 1 versus 1, it would easily be, it's not a selfish thing to want to continue living. It's called having an interest to live above being principled, okay? So that's okay. If you're principled, that's perfect. But Sissy, if you're so principled, what morally justifies... No, we have to go back to animals because we're here to speak about animals. We speak about humans a lot. So what morally justifies you cutting the throat of innocent animals?
What morally justifies it?
Yeah.
They are not animals.
Me needing tasty food.
What morally justifies you paying for animals to be exploited, killed, and chopped up into pieces for a product you don't need?
I have to.
You have to. Why do you have to?
To achieve my dream, so, yeah.
Why do you have to?
To achieve my dream to be a bodybuilder, to be a professional bodybuilder.
Oh, I'm a bodybuilder also.
Yeah, a professional bodybuilder.
So if I show you evidence that you can...
I bet you're not.
So Sissy, if I show you evidence that you can build muscle on a plant-based diet, like empirical evidence, would you stop oppressing animals?
You can... Can I answer?
Huh?
You can build muscle in a plant-based diet, but you can't be Mr. Olympia in a plant-based diet, and it never happened, and it will never happen in history.
In fact, it did just happen.
So for survival, it's wrong, but for superficiality, it's fine. What the fuck?
Yeah, because they're animals. They don't understand. Like, they don't have our brains. They're not smart. They are not.
But
So you
wait
don't
a
think
minute.
like us.
But wait a minute, because
Wait a
Guillermo Abomal became the first vegan to
Yeah,
win
we
the
can
super
link up the
heavyweight
like
title of Mr. Olympia Brazil. It never
the
happened, but
Brazilian
look at
one.
that.
Yeah.
It
I
did
thought you
happen.
had a
What you
solid
saying? Who's that?
position.
Who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Can you repeat again the chip guy? The
Look at
other
it.
guys were
Look
talking.
in the
I didn't hear
chat.
you.
Look at the chat. Everybody placed it for you.
Salam alaikum.
It's so funny to me.
So veganism is debunked for survival, but it's not debunked by superficiality,
I
by
really
goals
thought
that you
for
do
a
not need.
second. I really thought for a second he would have a solid position. That's so hilarious. I'm sorry, guys. You can't keep up with him. I'm out. I'm out for this one.
For sure, you're out. You said it's okay. It's excusable to kill a human if you want to survive.
Well, okay, well, even if we were to grant that Miss.
Yeah, go on.
Sorry.
No,
if we
no,
were
go
to grant that there were never a Mr. Olympia, that wouldn't still justify because that is still superficial
It
bodybuilding. It's not on the same
Yeah,
level.
it's superficial. Yeah, it's superficial.
Yes, but then how does that justify hurting
Yeah.
animals?
Wait, can I ask the gym guy, the chip guy, which one has a higher protein utilization and DIAS and BDCAS in terms of
So Sissy,
high protein quality?
so Sissy, I don't care about any of that. You know what I
Blunt
care
or-
about?
blunt or me?
Let me explain. What I care
Okay.
about is empirical evidence. I have empirical evidence that shows that you can build just as much muscle on a plant-based diet. Does empirical evidence convince you against your claims, or do you want anecdotal evidence, as you just claimed, because nobody won a Mr. Olympia, even though we just also showed you anecdotal evidence? So does
He's not a
empirical
Mr. Olympia.
evidence
He's not a
does
Mr. Olympia.
does empirical evidence confirm your disbelief?
He's not. Hold on. Let me respond first. First of all, he's not a
Yeah,
Mr. Olympia.
the question
Second
wasn't
of
that.
all-
The question wasn't that. So if you want to respond to the question. Does empirical
what's the
evidence
question?
prove against your own belief? So you believe that you cannot
it's
build
good evidence,
muscle
yeah.
on a plant-based diet? So if I show you empirical evidence,
If you no, that's not. Hold on. That's not what I claimed. I claimed that animal protein, is higher utilized
I don't
to
care.
build more muscles.
I don't care.
What do you mean you don't care?
I don't care.
Also, by how much is it better utilized?
I
There's
care.
plenty of evidence showing that it has
I
very
care.
similar.
So let me explain a little
utilization.
bit. Yeah.
And also, the DAS scores and all the other scores you named are just.
Yeah.
They're not a full picture. They don't get the full picture of the.
Yeah. So let me ask you a simple question, Sissy. Do you
No,
eat
hold
when
on.
you eat animal products? Do you
DIAS
eat them alongside?
provides a
Yes.
full picture.
Sure. So when you eat animal products, do you eat them alongside plant products also? Like, do you consume, or do you strictly
Yeah.
eat meat or alone?
I eat both.
You eat both.
But
Do you
I don't eat
understand?
plants
Okay.
for protein.
Okay. Do you eat both? Do you know that all of these calculated scores that you mention are scores that are calculated strictly on eating the single item themselves? So these scores
I know that.
Yeah, so if you know that, then you know that when you eat plants alongside other animal products, any form of bioavailability drops, because the bioavailability drops because of tannins, because of anti-nutrients, because of all these other things that some plants contain. So when you're eating plants alongside those proteins, they are exactly the same as every other plant protein. And we have empirical evidence for that. So I don't get what your point even is, because if we have evidence that you can thrive on a plant-based diet, we have several athletes who are thriving on a plant-based diet. What more do you need? Do you just want to continue believing what you believe?
Can I respond? First of all, I said no top bodybuilder ever got to top bodybuilding while he's eating plant-based protein. Even the guys who tried that, they failed.
Okay, so Sissy, I have muted you. I do not like muting people. And I do not like making this speech also every time I mute somebody. But unfortunately, I will have to do that. 1 second, Alexandra. So Sissy, I want to ask you, and I'll ask you one simple question, okay? And I just want the answer to that question before we move on. So what evidence do you need to realize that you can thrive? That means that you can be as healthy as possible, that you can build as much muscle as you can on a plant-based diet. And I noticed that you might not have paid attention to my question because you're typing in the chat, but I will ask you yet again. So please pay attention this time. What type of evidence do you need to stop thinking, or to acknowledge that you can build just as much muscle on a plant-based diet. Sorry, I have accidentally muted you again. Go on.
To have an DDCAS or DIAS score of the same score as plant, if you're comparing meat and plant.
So, Sissy, what type of evidence? I asked you. What type of evidence? That was the question.
I answered.
That is not one type of evidence. That is one example of evidence.
That is
I
evidence.
ask you what is evidence? Evidence means proof for your belief.
Chip, I posted 3 studies about hypertrophy in the chat and tagged CC. So the studies that are there from, there are 3 of them.
Okay, then we're done, Sissy, right?
I'm sorry to interrupting. I just want to clarify something real quick. Really, really quick. I'm sorry, guys, for interrupting your discussion. Just really quick. I was thinking about my position, again, from the beginning, you know, with the eating other humans for survival and stuff. I just want to clarify. I would only eat non-vegans. I would only eat non-vegans. That's very important. I just want to clarify that my position is clear. Thank you.
We love you, Alexandra.
And I would even grant that we cannot build muscles as well. I would even grant that claim, even if it's completely wrong and proven 10 times over. I would still say he's a hypocrite for trying to debunk veganism because of survival scenarios, but at the same time killing needlessly every fucking day at every opportunity just to look better, which is not even as elemental, as essential as survival. It's not even as meaningful. It's just luxury.
Yeah.
And if we're talking, hang on a second, can I just say something? If we're talking about top athletics, top of the tree, gold medal Olympians are vegans. And I've put a link, I've put some text in the chat. Yeah, I know what you said. I know what you said, but why are you saying it's more important and in some reason higher than a gold medal Olympian? That's the top of the tree, mate.
But either way, Sissy, that is a good point. Let's stop debating this. You have plenty of evidence showing you that you can build just as much muscle on a plant-based diet in the chat. You can look at that if you don't believe us. Now, let's talk about this, which is that was a really good perspective. Yeah, I'm sure 3 studies were given to you, and while others were talking to you, you already read 3 studies. Sure. So, Sissy, now let's go down the next point. How does you wanting to build muscle morally justify exploiting and killing innocent sentient beings?
Because they don't think like us. They're not as smart as us.
Okay, so if we find a human being, who has the same level of intelligence as these animals that you exploit and kill, would you be okay with exploiting and killing that human being so that you can build muscle?
But how can we find that?
It's simple.
How can find a human being with an IQ of a chicken?
Yeah, it's called encephaly. There's people who are born with that condition, which are born with a condition called encephaly, where they're missing part of their brains. There's people who are born with a condition where their cognitive abilities are impaired. There are several, for 8 billion people and random mutations, you would understand that there definitely are at least some people on this planet where anything that can happen will happen. It's the rule of large numbers. So I ask you again, Sissy,
I would answer you. I wouldn't because they're human.
Okay, because they're human. So what is the morally significant difference between a human being and an animal that would justify the difference in treatment?
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay, so if you don't know the answer to that, then let me ask you this. Did you choose to be born human?
No.
Did an animal choose to be born an animal?
No.
So, do you think discriminating based on how they're born is okay, even though you cannot even justify it yourself, all for vanity?
I mean, all animals kill each other, so
that's not what I asked you, Sissy. That's not what I asked you. All animals also rape each other. I don't think you would say that rape is moral, would you?
I wouldn't say they rape each other. They just have sex,
Well, no. There's animals who grape each other. They literally grape each other. If you don't know even that,
in real life.
Sure. So if you don't know even that, then I don't know what to tell you. You need to get a little bit more education. The fact that you didn't see it doesn't mean anything.
But I didn't see it.
Do you only believe the things that you see?
Maybe.
Okay, so do you believe that the Earth is flat?
I see evidence for it. or I see evidence for it.
Okay, so we have evidence that animals grape each other. We have documented behaviors.
But how do you know? How do you know they are being raped if they can't talk?
Because consent is not always verbal. Consent can also be non-verbal.
Yeah, but if you know, if a husband and wife are having their relation, you know, they doing their thing,
Listen,
and
Sissy.
the wife
Listen.
decided to stop, and
Listen.
the wife decided to stop, does that mean it's raping?
How do you know a toddler is being raped if they can't talk?
Because anybody who's having, you know, with a toddler, it's a rape in general.
So
because he can't think, he can't.
So how do you know? Okay, let me put it this way then. A sleeping person, a person who is, or maybe were drugged or something, they're unconscious. An unconscious person, would you call that grape?
Depends. If the person being, if
Depends.
If the person sleeping, yeah. If the person sleeping agrees with that. If he wants, you know, if he wants to do that while sleeping, I can't deny. I can't say it's rape.
Dude, are you the type of person who slips grape drugs for in people's drinks?
No. I mean, if your wife said you can do what you want when I'm asleep, I can't say that.
So if your wife, so wait a minute. If your wife gives expressed consent, yeah. But if your wife does not give expressed consent,
that's what I'm saying.
So, but I never mentioned that. So, did I mention somebody giving expressed consent? I merely mentioned a person who is unconscious. You assume that they are your wife. So, if a person is unconscious and you perform sexual acts on them, is that or is that not grape?
It's grape.
Okay, so it doesn't really matter, does it? All that matters is that animals can have grape amongst each other. I don't even know how we deviated from this. But at the end of the day, I gotta ask you the same thing. How is it moral to exploit and kill an innocent animal for vanity?
Because I believe, and everybody believes.
No, you speak for yourself.
No, not everybody, dumbass.
Would you like to have a vote in this?
Obviously not. Most of the world agrees. Most of the world agrees.
Most of the world does not. By the way, Cici, first of all, that is not true. Most of the world actually agree that exploitation of animals is wrong. It's just that most of the world has been fed a narrative and they've been lied to by industries that, stand to profit from lying to them. So most of the world that consume animal products are actually victims of those choices. And when we have conversations with that, they become dissonant because they feel guilty and they're emotionally immature, whatever. So that's where we're ending up. But most of the world, believe it or not, are against animal exploitation. Most of them are. But you, Sissy, seem to think that exploiting animals, that means treating them like objects, is okay if it's for vanity, correct?
If it's for anything, because animals and humans aren't the same.
You just said that humans are animals.
Regardless of the difference, though, so you can just do anything you want to a cat or a dog. Yeah, so you can do anything you want to a cat or a dog, and if the rest of the world is fine with it,
very different too. There are some things called rules. All the countries say that if you're gonna rape an animal, it's gonna get you in jail.
Do you have any moral intuition of your own, or can you only go by what's popular or what the law in your country is? Or are you just like a robot or a zombie?
You're talking about moral compass, yeah?
Sure.
How do you get a moral compass? What's your moral compass?
God, but it's But how do you have what's your moral compass? Because you've only alluded to
my
popularity.
Yeah, my country's compass.
Could I ask Sissy a question?
Go for it.
Sissy, I agree with you that humans and animals are different. I agree with you there. We're very different. But from a vegan point of view, it's not our differences that we focus on. It's the things that we have that are the same. So would you agree that animals have a brain and a central nervous system? They have 5 senses. They have ears, eyes, nose, mouth. They taste things, they hear things, they smell things. And they form a subjective experience of the world around them. Would you agree with me so far?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so let me finish. So using those senses, using that brain, using that nervous system, they form a subjective experience of the world that they're living in. They see it, they smell it, they taste it in exactly the same way as we do. And in exactly the same way as we do, they feel pain, they feel joy, they feel love, they feel fear, they feel frightened. In exactly the same way as us. I agree with you, they do not build skyscrapers, they don't send rockets to the moon because they're incapable of high-level cognitive thought the way humans are. But they are totally capable of all the other feelings, of joy, of playfulness, of fear, of pain. And that's why vegans do what they do, because it's wrong to needlessly exploit them. We don't need to do it. We really don't need to do it.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Who decides what's right and what's wrong?
You decide what's wrong. You decide what's right and what's wrong. Your moral compass, wherever you get it from, whether you feel you get it from religion or whether you feel it's innate in you as a being, you use your moral compass to say, is this right or is this wrong? And 99% of humans would agree that it's morally wrong to needlessly exploit and abuse other sentient beings.
So most
but we're not in
eat,
the needless part
eat
yet.
animals.
There are millions of people in need of doing that. We still didn't.
I have muted you. Please let the people speak. Go on.
The vegan, most people eat animals and they're okay with it. My whole country eats animals and they're okay with it. The whole country. I mean the whole country.
Yeah.
So what makes them wrong and what makes you right?
I'm aware of that. I'm aware of the fact that most people are not vegan. We're all aware of that. But the trouble is, if you look back at history, what most people did in many situations was horrific. And now we don't do those things. Now most people don't wander around raping people. Most people don't wander around abusing women whenever they want. Most people don't abuse gay people for being gay. We're evolving emotionally. Humans are evolving, and we need to make this next evolutionary step to realize that what we do to animals is wrong. You know it's wrong. I know it's wrong. But as Chip said to you, you've been programmed, you're living with cognitive dissonance, you've been told that it's okay to do these things, but if you look deep down inside yourself, you know that it's wrong to needlessly cause violence to other sentient beings.
I honestly think it's not wrong because my moral compass doesn't say it's wrong, and my country's compass doesn't say it's wrong.
Okay.
My religious moral compass says it's not wrong.
In that case, thank you for talking to me. I have nothing more to say.
Thank you.
It's also keep in mind that when somebody says morality, as I've explained before, morality is subjective, but it's applied objectively. So that means that if you think that it is wrong to do this to humans, but it is right to do this to animals, then there is a contradiction somewhere, or there is a moral inconsistency. So that is not a good moral system that you're having, because you don't just pick and choose. If you just pick and choose, you can end up with racism, and you can end up justifying racism by saying, well, it is right to me to be racist. But it doesn't work that way. That's why morality needs to be objectively applied, universally applied. So
yeah, that's why I think we have to have a fixed moral compass, so everybody would agree on something.
Yeah, let's move on, because it's pretty clear that it's not going anywhere.
Can I just ask, like, what do you lose by like including animals into your your moral consideration? Like, what do you lose by that?
I explained myself before. I eat animals to gain more muscles because they have a higher DIAS score, so they would build more muscle.
No, you would not build more muscle.
I'm sure Chip can talk to you about that.
So let me be clear. You wouldn't be building more muscle. Your muscle building potential remains the same. Let's say in the worst case scenario, it would take a little bit more time to build muscle. But as we've shown you, even the studies show that is not true. So let's imagine this, man. No, you don't. I don't know how old you are, Sissy, but muscle building potential is limited. Once you reach it, and you reach it in like 5 years of muscle building,
No.
it's the same
Not
for
if
the
I take
plant-based
steroids.
diet. Yeah, I'm up on a
No.
plant-based diet and I built my muscle on a plant-based diet. You can say no, but we have evidence for all of these claims, okay? So once you reach that potential, you no longer build muscle. You have to take steroids in order to
No.
pass that potential.
Yeah,
So it
that's what I
doesn't.
said.
Oh, so
I
you
said
are
not if
taking.
you're taking steroids.
So you are taking steroids?
I'm gonna take steroids in 1 week. Yeah, I'm gonna take
Jesus
steroids in 1
fucking
week.
Christ. No, listen, everybody who's listening to this, please don't be
Let's
like
move on.
this person. Please don't take steroids. Don't be this stupid. Let's move on. None of
Do you
this
know
is
how many people take
relevant.
steroids worldwide?
I don't care how many
I
people
thought you
are
were
doing
religious.
it.
How can?
Yeah, I muted CC.
Yeah.
Let's not
Yeah, I
have a
thought you were
conversation.
religious. What happened?
I don't want anybody on my channel to promote this nonsense. It is not okay to take steroids. It is highly doubtful. Just only take steroids if you need to, not if you want to. Just don't be that person. So let's move on.
Can I ask something? So I grew up in a farm in Puerto Rico, right? And my grandfather was very like he wasn't abusive to the animals and stuff like that. So I just want to ask, if you're in an environment where you care for the animals, you don't abuse them, but you do kill them for food and nourishment, is that equally wrong? Is that as wrong? Are we lumped up with the same dudes that scalp foxes for their fur and do that gun to cows that hit them in the brain?
To the animal,
like,
what's the difference? Like, what does it matter? Like, they're being killed unnecessarily. So.
Okay, fair enough. I just wanted to I just got in here, so I just wanted to know what was the
you're good.
basic meat and potatoes. Thank you so much for my time.
Okay, who's next? Who wants to have a conversation?
Okay,
Can I really quick elaborate on what both previous people said, what their standing was in a human context? I mean, so both of them basically said the world is shit, and because, for example, children get hit, I will open a farm of farm children now and just eat them because why not? The world is bad. Psych.
Okay, can I say right now?
They both have this in common.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah. So the question that you're asking, where you draw the line, we already have a line drawn that only 2 animals that are excluded from our, I would say, our religion, that is not to be eaten as a meat or anything. I would say only 2 animals. That is, one is cow, another is the dog, and rest all are acceptable as the part of our diet and everything.
Who said that?
That's where I draw the line.
Who said that?
Because it's our religion and our culture says that.
Okay, so
And we follow
so your religion and your culture, are both things that somebody told you to do, correct?
It's not someone, it is how it is. Because it's how it is.
Well, it is
Because
what
we
somebody
have a-
told you to do, right?
There is no somebody who is saying this to
There is not one individual, I'll agree with you on that one. There's multiple individuals who told you that it's okay to do this to other animals, correct?
Yeah, because animal sacrifice is our part
Okay,
of our culture.
okay,
and
okay,
we
okay,
need
okay,
to say this-
Svastika, okay. So if somebody told
First
you, that it's okay to exploit and kill women, would you say that it's okay to exploit and kill women? The same reason. It's a cultural and it's a religious thing.
First of all, you have to understand one thing. Hinduism is not a monolithic culture. It's a umbrella of diverse tradition.
That's not what I asked you, Swastika. I didn't ask you to describe to me your religion. I asked you if your religion or your culture said that it is okay, or it is, because that's what they're saying. It's okay, not that nobody's forcing you. So if they're saying that
There
it's
is no
okay
such thing
to
as
oppress other humans, would you then be okay with oppressing other humans?
Nowhere it is said. Nowhere it is said.
I didn't ask you if it said, Swastika, I didn't ask you if it said or not. I merely posed a hypothetical. In a hypothetical scenario, if your religion all of a sudden found new documents or whatever, and in those new documents it stated that it is okay to oppress humans, would you start oppressing humans because you benefit from it?
First of all, even if a new document comes, they won't say it. So that's the end of that question.
Okay, so Svastika, I have muted you. I don't like muting you, and I don't like doing this speech. So I'll ask you yet again. Is in a hypothetical scenario where your religion, where somebody else's religion, not if you don't want to say about yourself, put yourself in the shoes where somebody's religion, somebody's culture says that it's okay to oppress humans. Would you say that then it's okay to oppress humans because their culture or their religion says so?
I would agree with that person because it's the culture that is saying it's not.
So you think it's okay to oppress humans if the culture says it's okay to oppress humans, correct?
Because that's what I agree with, that culture varies, the morality varies from culture to culture.
Okay, so Svastika, then you obviously, I mean, based on the name, I'm assuming you agree with the cultural practice of slavery that was happening 200 years ago because it was cultural.
No, first of all, slavery wasn't practiced in our culture. It wasn't.
It was practiced in a different culture, was it not? And you said that if it happens in a culture, then it is moral to do so. So do you think that the people who were enslaving other races because it was cultural to do so, because they were taught to do so, and because their religion allowed it to do so, do you think that it was moral to do so?
Because I'm going to that answer again, that morality is subjective. So since morality is subjective, that's why I can't question on their one, because it's their that what they think.
No, Svastika, no. So I'll ask you the question again, because so if it's whatever, you think morality is subjective, but as I said, it's objectively applied, right? So do you agree that if some culture, let's imagine the United States culture right now changes, and they come to your country, and because they have power over you, they start enslaving you, because that's what their culture is. Would it be moral if somebody did that to you, if somebody enslaved you, because it's their culture?
We would actually think it as oppressive in our culture, but that's what
so would it be moral?
I said it wouldn't be moral for us, but what they think, we don't actually care. They might think it as moral or immoral, I don't know. But
so wait, you think it wouldn't be moral?
For us.
So Svastika, no, there's not for us or for you or whatever, okay? Morality is subjective, but it is objectively applied. When I'm asking you if something is moral or not, you cannot speak on behalf of anybody else. It is a judgment that you place on it. So according to you, Svastika, your judgment, if somebody comes to your country and starts enslaving you and your people because it is cultural and their religions allow it, do you think it is moral to do so?
I said it won't be moral for us. Simple as that.
Okay, so if it's not moral, then if this isn't moral, why is it moral for you to enslave animals? Because it is cultural and your religion allows it for the same reason.
First of all, we are not enslaving animals. We are just excluding two animals from animal sacrifice. That is cows and dogs.
Svastika, do you farm animals?
First of all, I don't farm animals, but since we are cultural, so we actually do animal sacrifice, because our
do you support farming of animals?
I do support farming of animals.
Okay, do you think farming of animals means enslaving animals?
It's not the same because
okay, do you think farming of humans means enslaving humans?
Farming of humans. If you talk about farming of humans, there is no such thing as farming of humans.
Svastika, the question that I asked you, is farming of humans enslaving humans? Hypothetically speaking, if somebody started controlling, the sexual organs of humans so that they can bring more humans into existence or less humans into existence, use them for whatever they want, those humans don't have freedom. They have a lot of space, of course, and they're given exactly the food that would keep them healthy. But then they're killed when we can no longer use them. Would that be enslavement?
Because First of all, the thing is that you are going into a. Let me say this simple answer that.
Bro, that's different, bro.
Let me say this. Farming. First of all, farming of human doesn't happen worldwide. Second.
No, Swastika, I'm sorry. I really don't like muting you. But I have asked you a question, and I please answer this question. The only reason why I ask these questions is so that you can understand the perspective. There's nothing new you can teach me about what you're saying right now. When it comes to animal rights, I'm not trying to be a dick about it. We have had thousands of conversations with thousands of people. You're one amongst thousands of other people who come in here saying the same things. And I'm asking you these questions because I want you to understand the perspective, not because I want to prove a point to you or anything. So when I ask you these questions, please answer them and allow me to ask you more questions so that you can get to the point, and then you can draw, then you can comment on it. Then you can say whether you agree or disagree with it.
I would love a shot at the questions next,
How about
please.
your question is bullcrap, bro?
So 1 second, please.
What
So
if
Swastika,
your
I
question
will
is
ask you
bullcrap? You're
again.
forcing
So I will
else
ask
to
you.
agree with your analogy.
Can somebody please mute this person? So Swastika, I ask you again. Can you please, for the sake of this, can you please tell me, if I bring to life a human being, I control the breeding process of these humans. I treat them like objects. I do feed them and I do give them a lot of space. Hell, I even give them a Netflix subscription. But when I want to kill them and I kill them, is it moral or not? Is it moral? Is that slavery? That's what I'm asking. Is that slavery? I have unmuted you.
First of all, that would be totally wrong thing to do. I'm just saying that first of all, because we don't have the concept called slavery. It's just simple that it's a wrong thing to do because human lives matter. First of all.
Who said that human lives? Who do human lives matter to?
Because humans are being, first of all.
No, who does your life matter to?
Every human lives matter, brother.
Who does your life matter to?
Yeah, it matters because I'm a human, first of all.
Who?
No, it matters to you. It's not that hard of a question, Swastik.
Yeah, who does your life matter to? It matters to you, correct?
Yeah, it matters to me first of all. Then to others.
Yeah, and my life matters to me also. And of course, yeah, right, the friends and the family that I have. And for an animal, their life matters to them and the friends and the family that they have.
And first of all, let me say this clearly. Humans, for what I know for a fact that humans themselves choose people can choose what they want to become in their next life. So simple as that. If the person has done something really bad in this life, then next life they can become animal and they will have to suffer the same thing that
it sounds to me like you're doing something really bad, Swastika. It sounds to me like you will be. Your faith is pretty bad, isn't it? You have weak faith and you're pretty bad. You know why? Because you are essentially taking advantage of animals, of innocent animals, because of how they're born. You're saying you were born a different kind of animal, therefore it's okay for me to take your liberty away, to kill you when I want to, and to use your body for whatever I want. I don't even need it. That's what you're saying.
We are humans, we are not animals.
It's not considering using if you are consuming them in the way of ethics.
I have muted another person. I don't like it. If I'm just gonna keep muting people until you allow the conversations to finish. So Swastika, I will please.
Can I just say something, Chip?
Yeah.
So to the
vegan.
So to the whole room, Chip is having a conversation.
How can someone want to give explanation against vegan if you are still continue to cut them?
One by one, then only the conversation will go. Otherwise,
Chip
it becomes a hotspot.
Chip is trying to have a conversation with a person. I know it's frustrating, but can the rest of you please just wait until the conversation is over, because it just really makes it difficult when people butt in. So, with respect, can you just listen for a bit? Thank you.
So Swastika, I'm trying to understand exactly
First of all, it's
how is
topic,
it
first of all.
how
There's
Svastik,
A,
sorry. The K, I read it differently. I'm sorry for misspelling your name. Not misspelling, for misreading your name. So what I'm asking you is, because I know what your culture says, I understand your religion allows it, but there's also a context part to your religion. All religions that are today were created in a time where we needed to exploit animals, where we needed to do what we do to animals. Otherwise, probably we
our
wouldn't have
religion is
gotten
not
all the nutrients that our body requires. However, today, we're no longer in that situation. Today, we can get all the nutrients and we can get food satisfaction for no longer exploiting animals. Just like we can build clothes without exploiting animals, just like we can do everything else without treating animals like objects. So how on earth would you say that it is fair to pick an animal based on how they're born and choose to cut their throat for a thing that you do not need? Please explain to me how that can ever be fair.
Okay. I'm going to answer your question in a simple way. First of all, we know we do not sacrifice an animal just we want or not like that.
You do it for optional food.
First of all, I'm going to say this, it has a meaning to it. Like, we actually give the meaning to that animals before doing that. Like, say, ego, ignorance, demonic quality, that is being slayed. Simple as that.
How does that, so wait a minute, because I can kill you and give it meaning. How is that fair to you? I'm asking you, how is it fair to the innocent animal that you chose to take their life because they were born in a way that you think it's okay to take their life? It's all from your side. You don't seem to think from the perspective, you don't think at least one single bit from that other perspective. You just think from your side, I'm allowed to do it, I get benefit from doing it, I don't give a fuck about that animal. I'm allowed to do it, I benefit from it. How is that fair to treat an innocent animal that way?
You are actually missing the whole point here, that we are not exploiting that animal, we are just saying that the animal is, before that sacrifice is happening, we are treating the animal respectfully, and that's we are giving.
You're killing the animal. Are you Svastik? Are you killing the animal or not?
Yes, we are.
How is it fair? Okay, how is it fair to kill the animal when you do not need to? How is it fair to the animal?
First of all, it's not only about food. You are missing the whole point. That's not only about food. You are thinking only in the terms of food.
No,
food is not
you don't need to. It's in any other situation. Why do you need to kill an animal?
That is what I said. The first thing is that we are actually giving it as an
life. Svastika. No, Svastika. You have to understand this. I ask you questions and you seem to be going around and just completely feeding your own narrative, because that's what makes you feel good and warm and fuzzy on the inside when you're committing incredible violence towards innocent sentient beings. So I will ask you again, okay, how is it fair to kill an animal when you do not need to? You acknowledge that you don't need to do it, right? Or if you need to do it, please explain to me why you need to do it. You have two answers to give. Either how is it fair, or why you need to do it. Need to do it.
Okay, I'm giving you that answer only. Why you need to do it. That's what I'm saying. The reason for to do that animal sacrifice is we are offering that life to the divine as an ultimate gift, mirroring that the idea is the life is given by the divine, so it can be returned back to divine. It's not done for wanton killing, but for controlled ritualistic purification.
So if I do that to you, or to a member of your family, because my deity, my God says that I should do that to you, does that mean, I value my God by taking your life? Is it fair for me to do that to you?
Okay, now you're going into that direction. I'm going to say that it used to happen earlier, but earlier there was a
Is it fair to you? That's the question. The question is it fair to you? I didn't ask you if it happens. I didn't ask you if it still happens. I asked you, is it fair to you?
Yeah.
There is a need for humans to get required nutrients.
Go on,
First of all, I'm not a Muslim. I'm a Hindu. I'm not a Muslim.
Okay, so Svastika, again, what is the need for you? So you say it's a religious sacrifice for you to kill an animal. If my religion says that it's a religious sacrifice for me to kill you, is it fair towards you for me to choose to take your life?
First of all, you are trying to ask a question that is it fair that will I kill you for this sacrifice? Yeah, you can do it because after all, there are rituals where you need.
No, Svastika, I'm asking you a question, okay? It's the only question right now so that we can get somewhere. Otherwise, I'm done. This is the last time I ask you, and then I'm done. Is it fair for me to take your life because my religion, because I want to please my imaginary gods?
Is it is right to do it because if God is asking, then it's right to do it. You cannot.
God is not asking. God is not asking. I'm just saying, I'm just interpreting it. I'm just interpreting what God is asking. If my stomach rumbles, if I get an itch on my left finger, that means I need to kill you. If I get an itch on my right finger, that means I need to chop your fingers off. It's very random that way, but that's how I interpret the messages of my God. Is that fair for me to do any of these things towards you?
First of all, you are actually thinking that my belief is
Is it fair for me to do that towards you? Is it fair towards you?
It will be both fair and unfair at the same time. Fair?
It's both fair and unfair at the same time. Okay, we've reached a point where I'm no longer interested in having a conversation with a person who doesn't understand what truth is. One item cannot be two things at the same time. It cannot be both fair and unfair towards you. It is either fair or unfair towards you.
Chip, I'm sorry, I was in another channel, but if I'd have known Swastik was talking, I would have warned you at the start. He's a fucking yapper, and he'll just waffle on nonsense for hours.
Yeah, let's move on.
Can I say? Would it be all right to say one thing to Swastik before you move on?
Please.
Yeah, Swastik. Do you know who is that's making that noise? Swastik.
Mute your mic.
Swastik, do you know that there are many, many vegan Hindus?
I've muted them.
There are many, many vegan Hindus and many, many vegans who have the same religious beliefs as you, and they do not think it's right to needlessly exploit, abuse, and kill sentient animals. How do you explain that?
They are muted, by the way.
Okay. Well, maybe, don't unmute them. Leave them to ponder on it, because there are many vegan Hindus. So it's not about God. It's not about commands from above. It's about your morality.
Yeah.
So
I can have only one more conversation going forward because I have to go do some work and then I gotta go. So.
Well, if I may, my name is Vic, and I'm a meat eater, and if I may, I've been listening for a while, and I would like to have a discussion with you on why I'm a meat eater. I'm 47. I live in Michigan. Yeah.
But can we just do one thing for the
my entire life?
So, just for the sake of conversation? Can you please not call it eating meat, but rather exploiting and killing animals? Because that's what it is. That's what we oppose. If you find a dead animal in the forest and you want to eat them, I don't have a problem. So it's not the eating meat part that I have a problem with. It's the exploitation, abuse, and slaughter of animals. So if you want to justify what you're supporting right now, please justify it by referring to exactly what the issue is. The exploitation and the slaughter of animals.
Okay. Well, I don't believe that, how should I word this? I don't believe that exploitation, that I support exploitation. I believe that veganism would be the same form of killing. We kill the plants to eat, correct? I mean, you might disagree, but plants are life forms. Plants are life forms.
Sure. So there's two things to be said here, and I'll start with the end because I'm sure otherwise we'll contradict each other, and I really don't want it to go that direction. Okay. So first of all, plants are not sentient. Do you agree with that or not?
No, I agree.
Okay, so sentience means that they have a subjective experience of the world. We don't care about life, just like we don't care about bacterial life, right? When you wash your hands and you kill bacteria, we're not saying you're doing something immoral, because that bacteria is not good, is not a being, they're not an individual. Animals, because of their sentience, they are individuals. And thus, when you're killing an animal, it's not the same as killing a plant, because you're killing an individual instead of a group of bacteria or a group of cells.
Okay, and you said something earlier that I picked up on. You kind of view animals, and correct me if I'm wrong, please. You said something to the grounds that you believe that animals and humans are equal.
No, so what I believe, I don't believe that anybody is equal, but to me, personally, I'm a nihilist. So I don't really place any form of value on anybody on this planet other than the individuals who are close to me. That's what I'm saying. So so the extrinsic value that I place on other animals or other humans is, from my own perspective, pretty much equal. I just don't care about any of them.
Okay, so would you say that you don't care about the animals you don't know?
Yeah, I don't care about them.
Right. So me eating them really wouldn't be a problem. You see what I'm saying?
Well, it is a problem because what I care about is injustice. What I care about is not the individuals, but the fact that it is an injustice. So what I care about is injustice. I don't want to live in a world where injustice keeps happening. So I would rather you wouldn't do an unjust things. Do you agree that you taking the life of an animal for a product that you do not need, just you want, is an injustice?
Oh, no, I see that. Now there's where we disagree. You see, because I don't eat meat because
You are
I
fake
want
news.
to.
So
I eat meat because I was raised to
Okay.
eat meat. There's a difference.
Okay, so somebody told you to do it, right? Somebody taught you that you
No, I
you
was
need to
raised
eat meat.
to do it.
Well, you were raised to do it means essentially that as a young child, your parents fed you meat and you continue to do it, and they told you
Right.
it's okay to eat meat. But what I'm asking you right now is this: is it okay? Is it just to take the life of an animal when you do not need to? And I'm not asking if it's just for you, because if you benefit from it and you don't consider the position of the victim, then you can easily
well,
find
no,
it
I don't
just.
feel that
Is it
it's
just
taking
towards
the
the
life.
animal?
Well, for no purpose, no. I mean, it has to have a purpose.
No. Let me put it this
You're
way.
taking
So let me
life
put
for
it this
purpose.
way. If any action that I do, the perpetrator of this action, the individual who does the action, can assign purpose to that action regardless of if the victim wants that purpose or not. So in other words, if I place a purpose on you that you should be enslaved, then would it be fair for me to enslave you because I can?
Yeah, I mean, it goes on right now. You talked about that earlier. You
So
asked
wait a
the other
minute.
gentleman,
So are you
is it
saying that
okay to enslave?
I'm not asking if it's happening right now. Are you saying that if
Well,
I have power over you and I choose to enslave you, then it is fair?
well, I mean, this is where we are. We're hearing your discourse.
Is it
Correct?
fair
We're
or
here
is it
under.
not? It is happening.
Well,
I'm
it
asking,
has
is
to
it
be
fair?
fair. Rules. Yes, it would be fair according to you. It's your rules. You're ruling it. How would it not be fair?
Brother, I'm never said it is fair. I'm asking you if it's fair. I think an action
Yes,
should be
it's fair.
judged based on the victim more than with the perpetrator of that action. What that
might be
means
the
is that
victim,
if I want to enslave you, it doesn't matter what I want, it matters what you want. If it goes against your interests, then that action cannot possibly be fair towards you.
No, look, but you're making us. You can't make us equal and dominant at the same time.
But that's not
it
what
has
I
to
said.
be one or the other.
Dude, that's
No,
not what I
listen to
said.
what I'm saying.
No,
Hear me out.
I will not, because
Okay, go ahead.
we have to get to this, okay? So I'm asking you the same thing that most people seem to have a misunderstanding of in morality in general. When you're doing an action that has a victim, do you think we should care about what the victim's perspective is or what the person doing the action? What their perspective is?
victims are humans, not animals.
That's
I mean,
not
like,
what I asked.
I can't put
That's not.
well, listen, I can't put these labels. It's like saying that a door is a victim because it came from a tree.
Okay, so let me put it this way. Mathematically speaking, individual A is doing action on individual B. Who should we care about? Who should we say, how should we form a judgment whether this action it is right or wrong? Should we listen to the individual A who's doing the action, or should we listen to the individual B who is suffering from that action? And when I say suffering, I don't necessarily mean actual suffering. I mean who receives the conclusions of that action being happened onto them.
But animals are not individuals, actually.
That's not what I asked.
That people. Well, I'm
talk with
saying.
you after.
I mean, I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with what you're saying. But would you also agree that people in prison are suffering? Would you agree?
Of course, but that's not the question. So wait a minute. So are you saying no, V, nope, this isn't, listen. I have explained to you and every single person it needs explaining. If you're here to try and disprove veganism, it's not going to work. It's just not. There is no point against it. If you're here to try and understand a different perspective, then I beg you to have an open mind and try to go through the process of trying to understand you. To understand it. Otherwise, you're just going to get down the same narrative, the same road, and you're not going to get anything out of this, and I'm not going to get anything out of this, and we're both just going to lose time. So I'm interested in actually reaching a conclusion and understanding where your values are. That's why I'm asking you these questions, okay? So when I ask you the question of how should we judge an action from the perspective of the person doing the action or from the perspective receiving the action, you said we should care about the person receiving the actions, correct?
Yes, I did.
Okay, thank you. So then if we care about the person that's receiving the actions in this situation, then if I choose to enslave you, that action is right or wrong based on you who is the person receiving the action, not based on my perspective, correct?
Okay, from my perspective, if I'm the slave and you are the one that has enslaved me, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, I did something wrong, correct?
No, I can enslave you also if you did nothing wrong.
Oh, but you have what? Power over me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if I have power over you and I can enslave you, if I have power over you and I can enslave you, is it moral for me to enslave you?
How is that immoral?
So V.
See,
might doesn't make right.
1 minute you say you have the power, the next minute you say it's immoral.
So wait, V, do you think that if somebody has power to do something, that means that whatever that something is, it is a moral action?
That is human nature.
So V, do you think that a man who has power, V, we gotta get through this. So are you saying that when a man who has power over a woman who does not have power, a muscular man who has power over a small petite woman, he has power over her. He can do whatever he wants to her. Does that mean that anything he chooses to do to her is moral because he has power?
Now I would have to say yes, because you have this power. You have this same power. And can I?
No, I'm sorry. No.
That's mad reprehensible, bro.
Yeah.
Get this man in prison.
That's a banning thing from this channel, I think.
Yeah. So V, essentially you're defending grape. You realize that, right? I will unmute you, but please realize, and I'll ask you this, is grape moral? This is the last question. And if you say yes, we will not continue the conversation. And if you say no, you will have to justify why it is immoral, because it is still an action coming from a position of power. So is grape moral or not, according to you? And when I say grape, remove the G.
Of course not.
So then,
but you're not letting me respond either.
So if grape
you're not allowing me to respond.
Because I want you to really, because when you respond, you go into a different subject. So if you're saying grape is immoral, but I have power over somebody to grape them, You just said that if I have power to do it, then it's moral. So that's a contradiction.
With all due respect, I haven't been able to even finish a statement. With all due respect, because you have the power over me right now. You have the power to mute me. You have the power to ban me. You have the power to put whatever narrative you would like to put out on your channel.
I asked you
have
questions.
That power.
I asked you questions. Can you please respond to the questions now?
Your power right now physically over me.
Sure. Can you respond? Can you please answer the questions now?
And I'm still here.
So you said, so if somebody has power, that means that anything they're doing is moral. And if somebody has power over somebody else and wants to grape them, that would mean that grape is moral, correct?
I do not agree with grape. That is not what I said. Sorry,
so
I did
why?
Not say, I didn't even spoke on grape.
Why is it bad?
What we were speaking on was power.
Yeah, so grape happens from a position of power. Do you acknowledge that grape is happening?
Right now. I don't want to grape them.
Do you acknowledge that grape is
I have power over my dogs. I don't want to grape them.
Do you acknowledge that grape is happening when somebody has power over somebody else?
That is a form of power. It is not all power. Money is power.
God damn it, man. How can you not understand anything? How can you seriously? It doesn't matter what form of power is. Do you think that if you have power over somebody, you can just choose to do whatever you want to that person and it all of a sudden becomes the right thing because you have power over them?
No, we were speaking on a level of power. You said if I was enslaved, right? If you had the power to enslave me, would that be okay to me? And my response to you was yes. And then at that point, you muted me, correct? You didn't allow me to finish. I'm in your Discord. And your people said, hey, ban that guy.
Because you said that might
and
makes
I said
right.
Nothing disrespectful.
You did.
And
you
I
did
said
say
nothing
you said that you justified oppression. You just justified oppression. Do you realize that? You just said that if somebody has power over somebody else, then it's justified for them to take advantage of it. Listen, that's why I keep muting you. That's why I keep muting you, because we can't have a conversation if while I'm speaking you interrupt me. Okay? So I don't want to mute you, for fuck's sake, man. I want to have a conversation with you. So let's end this, because otherwise we're getting nowhere. So I'll ask you yet again, do you think, doesn't matter what type of power, if somebody has power over somebody else, does that mean that what they're doing is moral simply because they have power over them?
It has nothing to do with morals.
My question has everything to do with morals. I asked you a question about morality, so it has everything to do with morals. So if somebody has power over somebody else, is it moral for them to do whatever they want to that person?
And I said yes.
So then how can you say that grape is wrong if they want to grape that person?
I can easily say grape is wrong.
Why?
You can definitely say grape is wrong.
Why?
Why would you? Who logically would say grape is okay?
Somebody who understands why it's wrong. You don't understand why it's wrong. Only somebody told you that it's wrong. In fact, I would not be surprised if somebody. I would not be surprised if somebody. Listen, man. Listen. I keep speaking and you keep interrupting me. I would not be. I really didn't want this to be my last conversation. I would not be surprised if somebody would teach you something else. Then you would find it okay. So you said that if it's from a position of power, then anything that person does from the position of power is moral. So if that person chooses to grape that person, then it is moral. If you disagree, then you're in a contradiction. So if you say grape is immoral, then you already have found ourselves a contradiction. Because if a person has power over somebody else and they want to grape them, and you're saying grape is immoral, but anything that person wants to do is moral, then obviously an action cannot both be moral and immoral coming from the same person. So please, let's have a conversation. I really don't like this.
If I can respond, right? So I guess that verbally I'm being graped right now. Is that what's happening? Am I a victim?
I am done. I am done with this. You're not a victim. No, I am done with this conversation.
Okay, I just want to be sure. I just want to be sure because you're at your position of power right now.
No,
and you haven't decided to grape me.
I am done with this.
He asked you 4 or 5 times why graping is wrong, and 4 or 5 times you said something else other than answer the question. If you want, no, you did, and you're doing it again now. Answer why you think it's morally wrong.
Hold on, you gotta ask him this way. My tribal chief, please answer the question.
It's wrong, period.
Yeah. Why?
Grape, okay.
Why?
Grape is something sick and disgusting.
Why?
Number one. Grape is something that happens from someone's mental disability. Something's mentally off.
Why is it wrong?
Great people? You think sensible?
Why is it wrong?
There are so many people in power over us right now.
Why is it wrong?
You're completely missing the point of this question.
Why is it wrong?
Yes, why is it wrong?
Because you are victimizing and abusing another person physically.
Yes.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
On the nose.
Well, no. I'm the worst person in the world.
You just don't apply that consistently to animals, bro.
Well, of course not, because animals.
Why not? They're
human.
innocent. They're innocent individuals. They're innocent individuals that get raped, that get slaughtered for your pleasure. So I mean,
I was trying to explain why I.
That's it, everybody. I'm done. I'm done with this conversation. I'm done with this stream. God damn it! I got so tired. Ugh, I hated that I have to be in this position. I hate that I have to be having these conversations with people, man. The link is there. If you guys want to still continue joining, there's still a lot of vegans in there. There's still a lot of non-vegans in there. If you want to listen, if you want to have conversations. Oh, but god damn it, man. I'm tired. I got really tired towards the end. Yeah. It's I hate it. You know what I hate the most is that when I mute them, I try to mute them so that we can have a comfortable conversation, so that we can actually reach a point. And what I hate is that when I mute them, they become victims. They all of a sudden start victimizing themselves. And I just end up in this position where I'm like, I can't win with this. I can't have a decent conversation with these people. I can't, because if I ask them a question, we're leading nowhere. I will allow them to ask questions, but I really want everybody to at least understand the perspective of veganism, and then you can have comments. How can you comment on something you don't understand? How on earth can you have comments on something you don't understand? It's just insane to me. It's just insane. So I usually try, in order to keep calm, in order to have good conversations, to mute people. I don't like it. I fucking hate doing it. I wish we had a good conversation. I wish people would just listen and walk the walk, and then you can, mention your things. But maybe that's a thing how we should start conversations here online from now on. Maybe from now on, conversations should be like, hey, I'm gonna ask you a series of questions, and then you can ask your questions. You just have to understand where we're going, where we're at, and then you'll get there. I know. Thank you so much, all the vegan people. I know you support me and all that. I appreciate that. I really wish it were different. I really wish that these conversations would go a little bit differently, because it goes nowhere. Yeah, it just goes absolutely nowhere, and I don't like it. I don't like. Well, it goes nowhere with them. People who are listening, that like the whole reason why I'm doing these kind of streams is so that people who are listening actually can hear the arguments, but it ends up being this, what the hell's going on? People are not making arguments, and I genuinely, listen, I want to have a conversation about veganism with people, but it has to be, from the position of, you have to understand that first. We can't have a conversation about veganism if you don't know what veganism is. We can't have a conversation when you bring out the same arguments, the same nonsense. You have to understand it first, and then bring out the conversation, and then be honest. Navia said Chip used to be shy. Yeah, I used to be shy, that's true. Just make a joint and do it again tomorrow. Nah, I have to do some work. That's why I ended it. And then I have to meet a friend. So yeah, I have like 45 minutes to do some quick work. Who won? That's a good question, Lewis. So we have this contest on our channel where the first person to comment gets a shout out. The last time Tone was the first person to comment, shout out. So shout out to Tone. Thank you for being the first. That is awesome. Anybody here spent any time in Papua New Guinea? A mate of mine was there and saw a dude chop his woman up with a machete in the street and nobody blinked about it. Ingrained beliefs accepted. Jesus Christ. Yeah, and that's essentially what we're trying to have these conversations with, you know. Steam World Geezers. So funny. Yeah, it's a complicated it's a complicated stream, man. It's complicated to do. I think maybe, I don't know if tomorrow I'll be back online. I might need to do more work tomorrow. But if not, I'll probably be back on Saturday. I don't know if you guys are interested in on Saturday we're gonna do a foie gras protest and a foie gras and anti-fur protest. So if you're interested in seeing that, maybe I'll do a little bit of outreach and then we can go together to that and you'll look a little bit of that. That's when I plan to go live next. Let's see the poll, what happened. Should animals be treated like an object? 59% said no, we're all individuals. That's good. Only the ones that I don't like said 40% of the people. Wow. Yeah, a prime example of society creating norms from crazy beliefs. The sad part of it is the more you look into it, the more you realize that most people have these beliefs because somebody just told them to. Nobody actually got these beliefs out of pure logic or something. They just got it because somebody told them to. Modes have it easy in here for real. Don, congrats on being the first to comment. Yeah, I don't know, man. I swear to God, at least more people came to the channel, you know, at least the fact that I did this invited more people and more people have the conversation. Yeah. I mean, we're all objects. Drop us and we'll fall. Yeah, to that perspective, sure. But I think we're individuals. Individuals also, if you drop them, they fall. We're all subjects to gravity, aren't we? Yeah, Discord, do more live one-to-one where you can see who you can see. We love you, Chip says Stevans. Thank you so much, Stevans03. I appreciate you. Yeah, I don't know when. So tomorrow I might do it. There's also the problem is tomorrow for sure it's going to be also hot. It's going to be up to 28. If it gets to 30, I'm not going to do it for sure. But I also depend on the work and it's a little bit more difficult tomorrow. But I might tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure. So tomorrow, who knows? Saturday, almost definitely will do it. Even before, if I do it before the protests, we'll do a little bit of outreach on the street. And Sunday, before We the Free, we'll do it on the street. Saturday and Sunday will be a little bit earlier for sure. So that means that if I do start, I start maybe around 12:30 Amsterdam time, PM for people. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm going for. And we'll see what we do. It's a pity that these conversations lead nowhere. I kind of like muting people because I can direct the conversation in a certain direction. But I don't like abusing the power, right? Like I don't like this idea that, oh, I'm muting you just to show. I'm not muting you to show you power. I'm muting you to go the conversation in the right direction. It just feels like sometimes I have to steer the conversation in that direction. I really don't like being that person in the conversation because I'm not the type of person, like when you have a conversation with me, you'll quickly realize, like in fact, amongst my friends, I'm usually the person who's the butt of the joke, you know, I'm usually the person who people joke about. And I don't just allow it, I usually put myself in that position. I like not having power. I like being the person who people, you know, they kind of like trash on and make fun of. Because it's okay, you know, I know it's harmless and I know people need to release some steam. But I hate being in this position of where I have to invoke powers in order for us to have a conversation. I don't like it, but it's the only way to have conversations, sadly. So I wish it weren't that way. So if anybody has some suggestions on how we can deal with this, especially this, God, I would be monumentally appreciative of that. Yeah, Lewis says the peach of the joke, Lewis. Yeah, you just have to. Sadly, I don't know. Amazing podcaster. I mean, thank you for being here. I appreciate that. And thank you for all the people who have had conversations in the chat. I didn't really pay attention to the chat this time. It was pretty intense in there. But I appreciate everybody who was in the chat. I appreciate everybody who did, who did the work in the chat, because it's work also in the chat, isn't it? And I appreciate the people who donated. Jackie Boyle, thank you so much. Everybody else, I mean, Jackie Boyle also, keep it. Okay, let's donate when Gary Yurovsky comes on Monday. We'll have a conversation with him. Tone says the only way to control is a stage. I think Tone, not now, but it's, maybe this week we'll have to understand that, and I'll have to learn how that works, and we can do that. We can do that more. Yeah, Dracolomb, I did see you answering a lot of people, so I appreciate that. Fewer of your major trolls in the chat this time. I actually banned one of them today. And I banned them from the channel. So I think some people who, I do that from time to time, the people who keep coming back, who say the same things over and over, I will ban them. Ew, a Gary vegan. No, I'm not a Gary vegan for sure. And I disagree with a lot of things that Gary says. And I also don't like his position of being a little bit violent towards all the things that he says. But I do appreciate him as an activist, and I do want to pick his brain, and I do want to talk about animal rights. I do want to get to this place where we fight together, you know. I don't believe Gary Yurovsky is a person who doesn't believe in human rights. I think he believes in human rights. Otherwise, he would be morally inconsistent, wouldn't he? Because it goes both ways, the moral consistency. I think he's a little bit frustrated, and he is frustrated with a lot of things. Like George Martin is also. I think he's just frustrated, and he's coming from a position of frustration. So that's why I'm not too harsh on him. I don't like some of the things he says, I'll give you that. And maybe I will challenge him if he says some of those things on my channel. Well, not maybe, I'll definitely challenge him. Although I just won't accept any of that. But I do want to speak to, you know, he's one of the best animal rights activists, right? He spoke to so many people. He had this amazing speech, and I really do want to pick his brain and see maybe we can, you know, talk a little bit about it and get more people to how we can get to a vegan world. And his donations go to the animal sanctuary, which I find it very nice. Can you talk to him about the Gaza situation? You know what? I'll write it down. Thank you for saying that, Doc. Yeah, I don't think there's anything to be said about it. I think, if I remember correctly, he does not like the situation in Gaza also. But yeah, we can touch upon it. I merely just want to talk about animals more than anything, but yeah. Any Trump apologist is a fool. Yeah, George Martin is an interesting case. He's clearly a great animal rights activist. He's a very smart person. But he has some views that I don't share, for sure. I feel the same way as you do about interviewing Gary in spite of one or more of his horrific views. Yeah, I feel like I want to work together. Like, I think that has been my whole thing throughout the whole process of my channel. You know, there's only a couple of people that I really just no longer talk to, and even those people I kind of want to come back and try to rehash things. But if we're vegans and we're all animal rights, I feel like I definitely want us to get on the same line. I think, like, if we work together, we get there faster, we move better. All these other issues, we can disagree on them, as we do a lot of the times. But animal rights, I think we all agree on it, and fighting together would only lead to better results for animal rights. I mean, after all, imagine this. Wouldn't it be better if we unite and fight for animal rights? Because even if we disagree on all these other things, it's not like they're going to change their mind on these other things, and they're going to continue doing what they do for these other things. But when it comes to animal rights, we can at least have them on our side and work together for it. Of course, if any of these people would be actually oppressing I would not like that at all. So yeah, but I'm just trying to bridge the gap. I really want the vegan community to be united. I want us to fight together, and to leave. We're all different. We're all very different in a lot of ways, but there's this one thing that unites us, and the animal rights. It's a very difficult battle. It's an uphill battle, and we want to get there. We really want to. We're literally any single thing. We get more shit than anybody else. And that I agree with Gary. It's not fair that if you go to a human rights conference, somebody is eating animals, right? There's a corpse of the individual whose rights you're fighting for on their plate, and you can't say anything about it. Or if you say something about it, they're like, oh, we're sorry, and then move on. But if you come to an animal rights activist, if they say something about human rights, then they're abolished directly. So I don't think it's fair, and I don't think the solution should be don't abolish the person in the vegan rights. No, I think that person should still be educated and then maybe abolish. But in the human rights context, if you're a human rights activist, you better at least be plant-based, or at least when you're meeting, you better be plant-based. We work together. Anti-oppression. You can't have oppressive things on you just because. Yeah. So there's a little bit of a nuance there. There's a little bit more nuance which I want to pick Gary's brain on. But yeah, not gonna lie. I think street activism is 100% better than Discord ones. Completely agree with you, Doc. People just wanted to debate on Discord instead of listen. 100%, Doc. 100%. Same goes for dog or cat rescues holding fundraiser at the burger joint. Let me see if I see what you said. The moment you have a platform and an audience, you need to be responsible for what you say. Gary shouldn't be put on a pedestal. I will agree with Sky on this one. I don't think Gary should be put on a pedestal also. I'm not, just to be clear, by the way, the reason why I invited Gary to have a conversation with Gary is because, maybe you're new to this channel, but I invited other activists also to have conversations with me. And I think I pick their brain, I talk to them, and I think it's important that I do this to Gary also. If I treat Gary special because of other reasons, if I don't give Gary the benefit of a doubt, then I would, yet again, put him on a, I don't know, maybe negative pedestal or something. So I kind of want to have this conversation with him just to assess where he's at more than anything. And yeah. Not true about Discord. Many people go vegan on Discord. That is true, Tone. Like, I've heard a lot of good conversations of people going vegan from that. I'm anti-Tate brothers, can't stand them. Fucking hate the Tate brothers. I hate them. I hate a very few people, but I hate them. Food activism is the best. Okay. But yeah, thank you so much, everybody. What about the graves? I was gonna end, but what about the graves? I don't know what graves do you mean. But I like that picture. I like that picture a lot. I'm listening more and more to Vegan Linked and similar channels about normal people raising vegan families and influencing their communities. I like the Gary hate. I don't hate Gary. I think I don't think some of the... I disagree with a lot of the things that he says and does. What's wrong with Gary? It's unclear. He did say some really weird things before coming back into the movement, right? I'm not gonna rehash those. In the movement these days, he kind of said fuck human rights. I don't know if he says he was joking. That's the problem. Was he joking? You can't really say fuck human rights. Human rights are important. But I think as he explained it every single time, it was like, well, exactly this, that when you go to a human rights contest, convention or whatever, when you meet with human rights activists, people eat animal rights, but when you go to an animal rights activist, people, you can't violate human rights. So like, it doesn't seem like an equal holding. Left or right, you have to hate Tate, how insufferable he is. He's insufferable. He's a convicted sex trafficker, so a lot of other stuff. Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I'll see you in the next one. Yeah, exactly. I saw that. He said he's just adopting Carlinian rhetoric. Yeah. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't really want to read too much into it. I'm pretty sure he believes in human rights. I think if he wouldn't, again, he would be morally inconsistent, and I don't think anybody's that. I'm not sure if he's... Whatever. We'll see. We'll have a conversation. Okay, we'll have a conversation with him. That's all we're having. Doesn't mean I change my views, everybody. I don't. I'm still the same person. I think human rights are just as important as animal rights. Gary has expressed deranged far right wing Zionist bloodlusting views. Oh shit. Oh, that's gonna be interesting. Yeah, plan to donate on Monday for sure for the animals. All rights matters. Yeah, so that's the whole point of it, right? It's for the animals. It's for them. It's not for us. Let's keep that in mind, right? When we fight for them, some animals will be dicks, some humans will be dicks, but we do it for them and we try to unite for them. What we get out of it, you know, maybe I have a conversation with Gary and at the end we're like, that was not a nice conversation. Maybe we shouldn't have conversations anymore. I don't know. Maybe we'll get there, but we at least owe a conversation, right? Samo Uzukami, what's up, Chip? Hello. Okay, I gotta go because I gotta do some work and then I gotta leave. Thank you so much, everybody. Have an awesome day. See you in the next one. And you know, yeah, let's speak up for animals because I think only the people left here are vegans. So speak up for animals. Come in. If you don't know where, by the way, the link, the Discord link, it's a good place to come and speak for animals. There's a lot of vegans there. You just have to join there. You sometimes may speak to non-vegans. Sometimes you may just listen. It's a really good place to go. And you don't have to leave your house if you don't feel comfortable leaving your house. But it's an excellent place to have conversations and, you know, listen to conversations also. And unite with other vegans. So